You know I will.
Okay. You want us to be quiet when you ask him a question? Just let him cook in it.
Yeah, just two people talking at one time would be good.
Yeah.
Nobody trying to overtalk other people. When two people are talking, let them talk. If they talk for too long, then you can interject. But yeah, just like you would in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to start a 3D print of a vase. It's
done on the photo?
Yeah.
All right.
I switched colors in the middle of it. Thought it looked kind of cool, but I'm going to do the whole thing in green.
Yeah.
For the live stream. And I got to preheat the chamber and the bed, or else it has trouble sticking. It's amazing stuff. The build plate I use is PIE. I have no idea what that is, but it's sort of like Teflon in a way. But unlike Teflon, it allows filament to stick while it's hot. But once it cools down, there's absolutely no adhesion at all. So when I print this thing, I can either, use force to take it off the bed, or I can just let the thing cool down and it'll slide off without any touching of it. It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
And they also make a I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a diffraction grid or diffraction grating that's put onto the print bed, and when you print on it, it gives like a holographic effect, a hologram, like a color holographic effect, kind of like party balloons, or they do the same thing with chocolate.
Of a mix of colors. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a rainbow, but there's no color. It's all the wavelength of light being diffracted at different parts of the spectrum. It's amazing. And
happy birthday, Sean!
Oh, thank you. The chocolate industry has used that technology for a while, where you can buy chocolate that has like a colored hologram effect on it. It's pretty neat.
When he said thank you, I thought he was talking.
I thought it was talking.
So anyway,
somebody must have.
We are live.
Yeah.
Can someone tell me on the in the YouTube chat if we're all coming through? If we're looking good.
The YouTube chat, all coming through.
Seems to work. I got an echo.
Good.
Okay, cool. So, let me see.
You got your own server, you know.
Sorry, what?
That's Team Flatsoid already in there. Don't worry.
Okay, so we're going to start the beginning of their live stream this morning, and see what they have to say.
It's good to see you all. Thank you all for coming. Glad you could make it. Tonight's exciting because it's Sean Hawkins' 45th monkey birthday. Yeah,
I laughed so hard when he denied that cosmology is science. That had me.
But it's good to see you guys.
That had me in stitches. It was so idiotic.
PJ and Roger.
This information.
I mean, yeah, they don't realize that you can't have a unfalsifiable narrative in science. It's not allowed. So
testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
I bet you got your own server.
I don't know. Yeah, because it is input C. It is going green when I talk.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good night, Flatsoid. How are you?
It's working. It's working. Can you hear me, Sean?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Happy 1000th birthday.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy birthday, Sean.
Happy birthday, dude.
Is the man who turned 162 here as well? Mr. PJ, I can hear Mr. PJ.
Actually, Sean, Actually, Sean, you actually turned 120 in 45 monkey years, by the way.
Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So you challenged us to a debate, man, for your birthday.
Well, and seeing
So what
as,
do you want to get embarrassed on tonight?
seeing as monkeys know how to peel a banana and humans don't, I'll be called a monkey.
Yeah, I
any
have
day
the
of the
banana in
week.
front of me.
Right, you're supposed
Yeah.
to peel it from the bottom, not from the stem.
What's the bottom of a banana?
It's softer. You're able to peel it easier. Plus, you have
Show
the,
me what's the bottom
yeah,
of a
the
banana,
stem.
please.
It's the opposite end of which it grows from the bunch on. It's that
And
little
which side is that?
ugly looking crumbly part.
Well, we only got good bananas in South Africa, so
You know, when you pull it off the bunch, it's the other end.
and which end
That's
is that?
the bottom. Are you fucking stupid? Serious, man. Are you this
I'm
ignorant?
trying to find out. You got the monkey king here, so you got to explain to me which side is the
You know
is
how
the
a
end that
banana
goes in the-
grows? You know how a banana grows? It grows from from a bunch. You know that part that
Yeah.
that's connected to the bunch? It's the opposite end of the banana from that. That's the bottom of the banana.
But there is no bottom. There's no down.
Oh my
Okay.
god, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Now
it
he's
is.
denying down.
Yeah.
Sean's wrong.
He is wrong. I know.
The stem part of the banana, if you were to go by the orientation by how it grows, okay, the stem part is actually on the bottom where the banana grows. The banana cluster grows up this way. It doesn't hang from a tree or something. It grows up from the plant like this.
Oh Jesus, this is stupid.
Yeah, it is.
No, remember. No, nothing's true. We were just trying to show you know nothing about what you usually talk about. That's all.
It's ignorant people trying to be clever, but you have to be smart to be clever.
It definitely is.
Sean, we watched a video before this. While we were waiting before you started, you made a claim about level. Can you
Yeah.
show us again how level is not horizontal, please?
I never said a level isn't horizontal. No.
Oh, so
never.
guys, we just caught him lying again. Well done.
No, I never said a level is not horizontal.
I just showed a whole long video of you saying that.
Okay.
Pretty sure you did.
Very much did so.
Pretty sure you did.
So how many minutes ago?
Not horizontal, please. What? Maybe 3-4 minutes ago. Transcontinental. It was a long video.
Horizontal. Horizontal measurements. Yeah, it's.
But I'm
based
glad
on
you
some
concede. Yeah, level is
horizontal
horizontal.
Is
Yeah.
Flatsoot getting
Showed
confused
us
about
a
pronouns
measurement
again?
of 4,000 kilometers.
Yeah, I never said it
Horizontal.
wasn't horizontal.
Yeah, be horizontal is a line.
Don't talk properly, like.
But
Sounds
a
like
level,
you
Can be more than
Like-
horizontal. This
like
is
a
so
bubble
silly.
level, is only level at the specific, is only horizontal at the specific part that you measure it at the tangent to the earth.
In the line, and it's still going to be horizontal.
There's no
so-
tangent. There's no tangent in level, man.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Absolutely there is.
Show us.
No.
Show us a definition where it says
Show us
tangent in a
tangent
level.
on a straight line. Show us a tangent on a straight line, Sean.
Well, a circle, like a
No, straight
sphere,
line. Straight
like-
line.
you-
Straight line. So show me a tangent on a straight line.
right, horizontal would have to be plumb, and no two plumb bobs are parallel. So if you measure something
all-
They're all
horizontal
parallel.
at
Every-
your point, no, they're not. No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Show us they're
Yes,
not.
they
Show us they're not.
Do you know what a
Show us that they are.
you ever
Flatsoot.
seen a
You're
wheel?
reversing the burden of proof.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah, see-
no, you
see-
made the claim.
Who's
You
the
made.
guy who's talking that sounds
Right.
like
It's
he's
P-
got bugs on
It's
his
PhD
Flatsoot,
candidate
you
that
made
doesn't
the
know
claim
the
that they
difference.
are. That's
Michael,
a
it's
positive claim, Flatsoot.
Michael, that's PhD candidate that doesn't understand the
This is
difference
PhD
between
candidate.
cosmology and cosmogony.
Flatsoot, you made a positive claim. You have to defend it.
No.
Yes,
No one made
you
the
said
positive
that they
claim.
are.
No.
You said that
Sean
they are
made
the same.
Why are you talking
Flatsoot.
over me? Why are you talking over me?
Flatsoot.
Sean made the
You
claim.
defend it.
Sean-
You
Sean-
sound like you're in the playground, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sean,
hold
you're
on,
gonna let
guys.
this guy white knight for you, or you're gonna let me actually talk?
Let him talk. Let him talk. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Sean made the claim.
Go up, mate.
Sean made the claim that plumb lines are not parallel.
Because
That
the
was
Earth
his
is
And you made the
spherical.
claim that they are.
Because the Earth
So
is
you have to
spherical,
defend your claim.
and plumb
Okay,
is
show me.
from the center of the Earth up, out. No
Nope.
two plumb lines are parallel.
Plumb is-
Absolutely. Okay, give me your
Show
map
us.
measurements and give your map model and measurements
You
for
made
flat
a
Earth. Do
claim.
it now. Oh, I
You
already
just made
backed
a
up my
claim.
claim. My claim has
You
been
didn't show
backed
it.
up by 2,500 years of science. So
You don't even know what science
My-
is, Sean.
yeah, I do.
Define-
You've redefined it. You've redefined
science?
it to back up your
Hold on.
idiotic claim. But no, I absolutely know what science is.
2,000 years of science. What science is that? May I ask?
I'm sorry, what? You're a little low.
Science. What science? What?
What science? That's 2,000
Science
years
is the
old.
investigation of the
Science.
of the things around us. That's what science is.
Science.
Do you know
I
what?
can say science all day long. It don't mean no.
What-
What science? You've
What-
got 2,000 years of science of what?
Of science, the body of science, the work of scientists
Okay.
discovering the world around them,
I
testing
can
the world
debunk
around
this.
them.
Sean,
But Michael, I can debunk this in 2 seconds. Sean, when was the scientific method invented?
Doesn't matter.
It does. You're claiming it's
You
2,000
don't have
years.
to have the scientific method for science. That's not a required
science-
thing.
Science only came into postulation with the method, mate.
No, it didn't.
Without,
No, it didn't, man. What the hell are you talking about?
hold on, wait a second. How can you use a scientific method if you don't know what a scientific method is?
Hmm.
How can it adhere to the rigorous standards set forth by the scientific standard,
Rigorous.
scientific method?
Rigorous
If no
standards.
one
What are you
had
talking about?
You're,
You know how the benzene
Standards.
molecule was discovered to be round?
you're double speaking. That's
They-
what you're
no,
going
I'm
in
not.
circles like
No,
a
I'm not.
Jason or Jill. Yeah,
You're,
you are.
you're dodging this. You're dodging the issue. Give me a map, model, and measurements of your flat Earth. Back up your claim that the Earth is flat.
Let's go to the question. Why are you acting like little girls in a playground? Eh?
True.
Are we all men talking here or what? Right? I asked you, Sean, what science are you talking about? You said you got 2,000 years of science. What
Yeah.
science have you got?
Observational
Science of-
science, chemistry, geometry, mathematics.
Science.
You asked me a question. Do you want me to answer it? Trying to answer your
Yeah, I
question.
do.
Okay. Can you be
Bullshit.
quiet?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. We have observational science. We have math, algebra, trigonometry. Those are all branches of science. Physics.
What is
Science.
observational science? Can
What
you
is
explain
that?
what observational science is and how it adheres to the scientific method through mere observation? How that can actually adhere to the scientific method?
Do you think the scientific
Easy.
method is a rigorous set of standards that everyone has to follow doing science? Is that what you think?
Yes.
Well, if you're going to use it's a construct of logical steps, okay? And if you're going to throw logical steps out the fucking window, then you just start relying on conjecture. So how is observation alone scientific at all?
Observation,
Can I
testing,
Sean?
Well, wait, let him answer
coming
that.
to a conclusion.
Well,
Well-
how do you come to a conclusion merely by observation?
You observe
You don't.
something, you test it to whether or not it comports with reality, and then you
So
conclude.
there's testing involved. So,
So
it
not
can't just be
observational.
observation. There has to be testing, right?
Right.
Pro-
I have a
problem-
question for you guys. Why don't you get past observation? Because you stop
We
at
are past-
observation. Why? Give me your map, model, and measurements of flat Earth. Oh no, we observe it flat, so it has to be flat. You never
Okay,
get
sure.
past the first step of the sscientific method, but you demand everyone else to adhere to it strictly, right?
Sean, since you
Right?
brought up Aaron,
Right?
Sean,
See the double standard?
behind where's the
That's so true.
science of Aaron Crustknees? Can you tell me
And
that?
then
Where-
They
I never
try to play
brought
word
up
things.
Eratosthenes. I never brought up Eratosthenes. What are you talking about?
You said that,
No, I didn't.
2000
Right, 2,000 years. Yes, we knew that the
What are
Earth.
you
We've
referring-
known that the Earth is a sphere for about
What is-
2,500 years.
What is 2,000-year-old? Wait, what is the 2,000-year-old science that you speak of then?
Oh, you're talking about Eratosthenes.
About 5 minutes.
Okay, so you said 2,000-year-old science, and that pretty much invokes Aaron Crustinese, right? Now,
There's
can you
no
tell me
such
the
person with that
science
name.
of
So
Crustinese did?
I
What
don't
is
know
the
who
science?
I don't know who that is. We were talking about Eratosthenes.
Yeah, that guy. So where was
Okay,
the
that
science
guy.
involved?
It was trigonometry. That's
That's
the
not
science. Yes, it is.
Not
It's a branch of science. Yes, mathematics is a branch of science. Absolutely.
Okay, guys. Wait. We can just.
Science.
I
Top
know.
and
I
bottom
know
on
math.
it.
I know math scares you guys. I know you're
wait,
terrified
wait.
of math
Wait.
because you don't understand it. But
Hold
cope,
Wait,
man.
Math is not
Cope
Math
harder.
is
guy.
not science. Math is used in science, but it is not science. Okay.
Yes, it is.
So
It is.
science
It's part of science.
behind Eratosthenes. What is the science involved with Eratosthenes' little sticks and shadows things? What was the science in that?
He made a hypothesis that the Earth is spherical and it can be measured. He used trigonometry to confirm that hypothesis.
Okay, I
What
can
was the
dispel that.
independent
Wait.
variable? What was the independent variable in his
Location
experiment?
on Earth.
The
Independent
distance- the
variable,
location on Earth. I got this.
No.
The location on Earth.
How,
Sorry.
either one of them, how were they modulated? Can you please tell me what the independent variable was and how it was modulated?
What do you mean modulated? What are you talking about? That's a sound term.
Well, in order to an independent variable is
You're trying to use big words to sound smart. Stop it, okay?
no,
Okay.
I'm not.
It's
No, I'm not at
embarrassing.
all. You know, independent variable is? What were the independent variables in Eratosthenes' experiment?
The
He doesn't
distance
know
between the
RD and
points.
D. No.
No.
Yeah. Oh,
What
I don't know the
were-
difference between variables, Mister.
And the
An apple
variable-
can be an orange can be an apple. You're gonna
Okay.
hypocritically
Okay.
criticize me.
Sean,
Are you serious?
Sean, keep on.
It's
Oh my God,
Con-
dude!
Man, concentrate. First of all,
Completely self-unaware.
with Eratosthenes, you skipped the first point. The first point would have to be observation. That's the first part. You don't have observation, so you can't make a hypothesis.
Right.
Secondly,
ships
you
disappear
don't-
over the horizon. That's my observation.
Secondly-
I think that the Earth is spherical.
Secondly, you weren't able to give us
No.
the independent variable and the dependent variable.
Stop.
Yeah, I was.
Stop.
No, you didn't.
Stop. The first part is observe a natural phenomena.
Mhm.
Thinking Earth's curved into natural phenomena, Sean. So you can
What
stop
are you-
right there.
What? Thinking the Earth is curved is not natural phenomena. What are you talking about?
It's not an
Do you
observation. No one has
Is
observed
an,
the
is a
God.
natural observed phenomena. I think the Earth is curved because that's
Yeah,
what you just
Yeah,
said.
so like you have like a sand dune or a hill that something goes over and it disappears or goes out of our view bottom up. Well, shoot, ships do that at sea.
You're
So
assuming
the
Okay.
Earth must be spherical, just like the hill is curved. So
Guys,
that's
he's
the
been
observation.
changing the subject. Guys, he's
All right,
been
just a minute,
changing.
Russ.
Not
He's
going
been
to
changing.
guys.
Wait. He's been
So it
changing the
takes me right
subject.
back to the thing.
He's
So
been-
you claim there was an observation, right?
Right.
All right. So we're going to conduct this experiment. Now, in an experiment, you have three elements. You have an independent variable, you have a dependent variable, and you have control variables.
Not always.
Okay. Now, what were the independent variable, the dependent variable, and the controls used in Eratosthenes' experiment?
So, like someone said before, the scientific method hadn't been invented yet. So there were no rules to follow, right? And do you think that you have to have a dependent variable and an independent variable and a null hypothesis or all that in every experiment you do? Is that what you think? Is that what you think?
2,000 years of science, Sean. You claim 2,000 years of science, and then when we try to hold you to it, you say, "Well, they hadn't invented science yet."
No, they
So-
didn't invent the scientific method yet.
well,
Science has been
there is-
around forever because we observe things
John,
and we understand those things. If
And
you're
when
going
it
to
comes
keep
to-
talking over me, you'll be muted, dude. I won't have
then
that.
Eric, he should not even be brought up, should he? He should not even
Yes,
be
it
brought
should
up in
be.
science because he did not use science, did he?
Yes, he did.
So what's the
He
independent
did,
variable?
or did he use science?
That's part of
What's
the
independent
scientific
variables?
method.
That's
A method
science.
you
What?
use to a controlled method that you use to conduct scientific experiments. That wasn't around back then.
What
You still
was
had
the
science, but science, the
independent
science.
variable?
If you're going to keep talking over me, you'll be muted while I talk. Do you understand?
What were the variables, Sean?
It doesn't matter what the variables were. It was science before the scientific method was discovered.
Okay, I've got a question for Sean then. Sean, since you claim it's science, okay, can you show me any scientific postulation without any dependent and independent variables, please?
Yes, the discovery of the circular benzene atom or molecule.
That's not science.
Yes, it is.
That's
It's
discovery.
it's chemistry. Chemistry is a branch of science.
No, I want the science. You said it's
I just
discovered.
gave you
Does it-
the, I just gave you an example. Now, give me a map model and measurements of your
Yes,
flat Earth.
Okay, if I discovered fire, does that make it science?
Yes,
How?
because you've discovered something that was heretofore undiscovered.
But science
You
is
really
there
don't.
to.
You really don't know what science
Wait,
is.
wait,
Science
wait.
is, do you?
Wait,
You really do
wait,
not
wait,
understand it
I want-
past quantum
Sean-
eraser's explanation of it. You really
No,
don't
no,
have
no.
a clue.
Sean, do you understand
No, it's not
what?
quantum erasers. It's
yeah.
not to do with quantum eraser, mate.
But I
That's
just want
a
to.
get at card that you're using,
maybe-
Sean.
Maar so it is all on the same
just wanna
channel.
break-
You're
I-
copying
I-
him. You're
Okay, can I just
copying
break this
what he
down?
says. You're aping him. You're parroting him.
Okay, can I just break
Sean,
this
did
down
you go
for
to
Sean?
school,
quickly?
mate?
Can I just break this down
If
for
you go
Sean?
to school, mate, then
Hey,
you'd have been taught
You
scientific
you
method.
couldn't break
just-
it. You couldn't break down a cardboard box with a box cutter
Okay.
if it was wet. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to finish my
You live
statement.
in a
dude.
cardboard box,
Okay,
mate,
Michael,
you
I just want to
scrub.
finish my statement, mate. Okay, Sean, the reason I'm asking this, okay, is because you clearly don't know what science is. So I'm going to ask you then, what is science, Sean?
I just told you what science is. You don't
No, you
understand and you don't want to accept the answer, but I told you what science is.
What's the definition for science, Sean?
Okay, hold on.
The definition.
You
going
just told us. Why you got to
Guys,
look that up
listen.
now? You said you just told us. Why do you have to look it up?
Flatzoid, listen, there was a guy here.
The
in Luray
systematic
that-
study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through the observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained. There you go. That's the definition of science. Yes.
So figuring out the cause for an observed phenomena then. So you have
Right.
to
Something
test
that
it.
flat earthers never do. You've never
Okay,
tested
great.
your own
So wait,
reality.
wait. So you said they
Sound like
discovered
Brenda.
something, okay? So that would be observation then.
That would be discovery through observation.
Okay, so what is the cause for that discovery?
Something caught on fire.
No, you claimed they discovered it, and that's the science. So what was
Lightning,
the cause for
lightning.
that discovery?
Lightning.
What's lightning?
Lightning is an electrical discharge from between a potential between the sky and the earth. You don't know
Okay,
what
and
lightning
how-
is? You don't know what lightning is?
No,
Oh
I
my
know. I
Lord,
just
dude. Come on, man.
I'm trying. Why
You
can't you
we
just
learn
talk about?
we learn what lightning is when we're children. You don't know what children know?
I'm guiding you. I'm guiding you as.
No, you're avoiding answering the question and backing up your claims. That's what
I'm
you're doing.
I'm guiding you as simply as I can
No, you're not.
to make you
Dude.
understand what you're talking about is not science.
You
That's all
don't
I'm trying to do.
understand the difference. You don't understand what a variable is. So you can't guide me through
Okay, test me on
anything.
variables. Test me on variables quickly.
Really?
Test me on variables quickly. Let's see.
You think an apple is can be an orange just because you say
That's
it
not-
is.
that's not
That's
testing
not
on variables.
that's not how variables
That's not
work.
That's not testing me on variables. Test me on variables, please.
Test mon variables? What?
test me on my knowledge about variables, the guy that I can show a video now that doesn't know the difference between dependent and independent variables, that you have to look on the Google because you say to yourself, you actually get confused between the two. So stop projecting your ignorance onto me and test me on variables. Come, go on.
Can variable A be variable B? Yes or no?
No,
Then how can an apple be an orange just because you say it is?
that's not science.
No,
Not science.
those are variables. Apple
It's not
is
science.
variable A, orange is variable B. You say, well,
That's
now
not science.
variable A is variable B,
not a variable.
so
not a
math
variable.
lies. If you keep
That's not a
interrupting me,
variable.
motherfucker, I'm gonna mute you. You understand me?
Science.
Not a variable, it's not science.
You think an apple, you're muted by the way, you think an apple can be an orange just because you say it is, and because you say it is, you say science or you say math lies. That's how little you understand of the scientific method and variables. So now I'll unmute you. Go ahead.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to say it again, Sean. I don't think an apple can be an orange. It just
You
shows you
said
don't
it
understand.
did. You said it could.
Now-
You had a video
Why-
saying it can because you say so, and you
why
say
are you-
math lies because of it.
Why are you talking me? Why are you
Answer
talking me?
something, please. Maths is not science, Sean.
Yes,
Exactly.
it is. It's a branch of science.
No.
Maths is not science.
Math is no
You use-
science. Yeah, cope harder.
You,
Cope harder.
Maths
you,
is, you can make fun of me all you want, right? Maths
Oh, I
is
do.
not
I
science.
do because you're easy to make fun of.
Yes.
Oh, projection.
Very,
that's
very
right.
easy. Very easy to
The
make
guy
fun of.
discovers the page.
So
was
now-
that science.
Now, since I've answered your questions, present your map model and measurements of flat Earth.
we haven't finished
This
the topic
conversation
yet.
will not go any further until you do that. Do you understand?
Okay.
There are no
Okay,
angles,
I've
man.
got- wait, I'm gonna present it. I'm gonna present.
Require it to be flat.
I'm going to present, I'm going to present it just like I did when he came on, just sat on my show. Sean, all maps, all models, all measurements require a flat Earth. So it
No,
doesn't
they
matter which
don't.
one you want to present. Yes, they do. Show me one that doesn't.
Celestial navigation. The Nautical Almanac
That'd be
uses spherical trigonometry and the heliocentric model to give you
No, it
a
doesn't.
position. Yes, it most
doesn't.
fucking certainly does.
Do you know,
It
do you know
most certainly
invented
does.
celestial- do you know invented celestial navigation, Sean?
Doesn't matter.
The Phoenicians, do you
Doesn't
know they
matter.
were flat Earth?
Doesn't matter.
Yes,
Doesn't
they
matter.
does
The
matter.
Celestial Almanac and the sextant uses spherical trigonometry and the Haversine formula, which does not work on a flat Earth, to get a position
No,
fix.
not
Absolutely,
actually.
absolutely, it does. You can
no,
say you
Sean,
can
Sean.
say no all you want, but this is a proven fact.
No, Sean.
Sean.
No,
spherical-
Sean. Yes, absolutely. So you can keep saying nuh-uh. Now,
Sean.
bring your map
Keep it
model and
moving.
measurements of your flat Earth, or this conversation is over. Do you understand
did.
that?
Why are you running, Sean? Why are
No,
you running?
you didn't bring a map, a map
did.
that works, a navigable map that works, a model, a predictive scientific model, and measurements of your flat Earth. You just said these words. You need to bring that evidence. So if you say, bring your evidence that the Earth is spherical, and I just say it's spherical, that's good enough for you?
Sean.
Okay.
So is that good enough for you? If I just say the Earth's spherical, now you're no longer a flat earther, right?
No.
That's
Sean,
got to
I'm
be
gonna
good enough
explain-
for you. If that's good enough for me, right?
Can you grow up and
So
talk?
bring
Let us
your
talk.
map, model, and measurements of your flat Earth. I want to see measurements, not you just saying we measured it. Everything's measured flat. No, bring your measurements. If I
just did.
say, show me an equation that 2 apples and 2 apples is 4 apples, and you just say, I got a dog, that's not good enough. You need to bring your measurements, or this conversation is over, and you will be ejected from this server. Do you understand that?
Sean, can you stop over
Shall
talking and actually
Elaine.
listen to what? If you ask us to do something and we want to answer, you have to actually let us talk. That's how grown-ups have conversations.
Well,
So,
you're not talking
Awesome.
back. You're just
You're
obfuscating.
talking over us. You're talking over us. Now
Okay,
again,
go ahead. Bring your
all-
map, model, and measurements of flat
Can you
Earth. I'll
shut
stop
the hell up,
talking.
like-
I'll even mute
Can you shut-
myself.
Great. Okay. Well, while Sean is actually keeping quiet, the thing he forgot to understand is all maps, all measurements, all models are based off of a flat Earth. He doesn't need to accept this.
No, Flatzoid, they are
It's
not.
true.
That's a lie.
And why are you over talking me now? Why are
It's
you
because you're
over-talking me?
lying.
No, I'm
Okay.
That's
not.
what you're lying.
Okay, now I
All right, now you're muted, Flatzoid, so you can hear me say once again, bring your map, your model, and your measurements of flat Earth. Bring a map that you can navigate that has the right distances between things on it. A predictive scientific model where you can predict the next eclipse, or you can predict where a planet will be at a specific time of night, and measurements of your flat Earth. Not saying that things are measured flat, actual measurements, equations, scientific formulas. Those are a map, a model, and measurements of your flat Earth. If you cannot do that, you will be ejected because all you've come here to do is waste my fucking time, and I won't have it. Now I'll unmute you to give you a chance to do that, or you're out of here. Do you understand?
Okay, now since Sean
Howard,
actually,
Sean.
wait, Sean, first of all, PSD was talking over me, and then you muted me for him talking over me while I
No,
was
I
making my
muted
statement.
you to make
then
so
you
I
went-
could talk.
No. Then you
I want to
went.
speak, right, Sean? All you've done is talk and mute us. You're a coward, mate.
That's all he
Want
does.
to make it a
But
shit
anyway,
show, don't they? They can't
But
even
anyway-
handle
Says
themselves.
says
Anyway,
the
see,
people
the
on
other
the
people-
channel who have
we have to do
blocked
one.
everyone who disagrees with them.
No,
What a bunch
Sean,
of pussies you are.
when you're
You're
gonna
telling me
actually,
out for saying hello.
yeah, Sean, when you're gonna actually let me make my statement, which
And
you
you
asked me
did the
to back
same
up.
thing to me, motherfucker. That's why
I
I
did one
did that. That's why I did that, because you did that to me. Okay?
Okay,
So
okay.
clutch your
Sean-
pearls a little harder, pussy,
Sean, relax,
and
man.
buck up.
Relax.
Hey,
Learn
Sean,
to
I
buck
got
up.
you gotta have some food, man.
So,
hungry.
now, present your map, model, and measurements, or you're gone.
Okay,
I'm gonna have
Sean.
some food, man.
Hey,
Okay,
Share your
Sean.
screen. Go ahead,
Wait.
share your screen. Let me get on the screen here.
Sean.
All right, share your
I got-
screen.
Okay, Sean.
I got weed and
So first of all, I gotta tell you, scientific equations is nothing to do with a map, model, and measurement.
Okay, I'll give you one more chance.
You know
Share
what?
your
I'm still
screen
making-
and present your evidence. No
I'm
more
still
talking.
making.
No more talking.
Okay.
Present, boy. Present.
Okay, I'm gonna present. Let me share my screen, guys. Watch
This guy's
this.
a joke, man.
Watch this.
No wonder he's
Uh,
only got like 5 viewers and shit. Oh, he's got 13 now. Doesn't realize that if it wasn't for us, he wouldn't even have a fucking show going.
No, he
He's
wouldn't.
a monk, mate.
I just want to see if I can get
Yes,
this on
no
screen.
kidding. Oh my god. A dick measuring contest from the flat seas.
A white
Yeah.
knight, Ming Mong background calling people
Innit?
liars. Like you're a set
You are a liar.
tards.
You're a feckless liar.
You're a
Okay,
liar,
Sean, can you see
You're
what
a
I got
liar,
on
mate.
screen?
You're a liar. Sell nav.
You're a liar. You know
Sell nav.
I don't even have to go to some. I don't even have to go south.
Maps.
Sean-
Sean. Flat Earth.
Sean, can you see what I got on screen?
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me bring that up here.
Dafty's in the background.
I'm trying to.
Oh wait, I'm showing the wrong screen now. This should be on screen. Okay, can see that.
Yeah. Let me. I'm trying to bring up Discord here. Hold on.
Oh, thanks, Flatzoid. A Tatum plane is a point.
Can you shut the hell up, PJ?
Love
What
it.
P-
I love
P-
it. It's a point.
He's asking me to
Wait,
present
it's a
something.
point segment.
So-
It's a
so-
point segment,
I
Flatzoid.
know you don't understand words, It's okay. I know you're the dumbest idiot on the internet, but I'm talking to Sean. Okay, Sean. Sean.
There we
Sean,
go.
can you see this? Okay.
Yep.
Sean, can I ask you a question, please? Can you
Okay.
tell
That's
your
not a
little
that's not a map, model, or measurements of a flat Earth.
Wait,
See,
Sean,
you're
Michael's
out of
asking
here.
you a question. Sean's asking you a question, mate.
I'm trying
Yes.
to ask you a question.
How is
You've got
this
little white knights in background who
map,
can't
model,
talk.
and measurements of flat Earth?
Sean, can you keep quiet for 2
Sean,
seconds
I'm
and
trying to
listen?
talk to
Michael's
you,
asking
mate.
you something.
Flatside, get your people under control. Flatside,
Brenda,
get your
shut up.
people
It's you
under
guys
control.
white knighting the whole time. We're talking to Sean here. Okay,
Get
go
your
on,
people
Michael.
under control, Flatside.
Brenda, can you
Good
shut
point,
up? We're
Brenda.
talking to Sean here. Can you shut up? Go
Shut
ahead,
up, Mum.
Michael.
Sean, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, I can hear you. Fucking talk, man.
Why don't you answer me then when I say, can you hear me? Something wrong with your ears? You got stuffing cloth in them. Right, you've got people on your side just chuntering and spouting out who can't even talk properly, and it's becoming a shit show.
Excuse me, you're criticizing people of not being able to talk properly. Are you
Yeah, I
doing
am,
that?
yeah,
Are you doing that?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I am, yeah.
that's
Yeah,
adorable.
So, you asked for
Con
proof of
can barely speak
Selnav,
English.
Surveying. Selnav, surveying, mate, yeah?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Michael, we're not even getting there. I'm busy with planar surveying, which actually will get to the cell nav.
Yeah, well,
But Sean,
because, like, Sean's just muted us for the last half an hour, and I've been
Yeah.
trying to say something,
Michael,
and it's not even
Michael.
being heard
yeah.
because
Shut
we've been
your
muted.
pie
And guess
hole.
what,
Well
Brenda?
bothered.
And guess what,
Sean.
Brenda and starts chopping
Shut
in
your
again.
pie hole.
Brenda's not even on the table. Brenda's not even on the table.
Yeah. So again, Sean,
That's
you've asked me to present something. You know what a datum plane is, Sean?
It's not a map, model, and measurements of flat Earth. So I'll give you
Map
one.
models
I'll
and
give it.
measurements
This
are
is your
based
third. This is your third and final chance.
Wait. I'm trying to make my
Present a
claim.
map,
I'm
model,
trying-
and measurements of flat Earth.
Yes,
Do
it
it
is.
now, or
And
or
I want to
say
explain to
goodbye.
you. Why
Do
don't
it
you let
now,
me just?
or say goodbye.
I am busy with. I'm busy with it, Sean.
No, you're not.
A
You're
date-
presenting. You're
a
presenting all
datum
this other shit that you don't understand.
Hey, coward.
Present
Hey, coward.
your,
Let me finish.
present your
Coward.
facts.
Let me finish.
Present
Coward,
your
let me
map,
finish.
model, or measurements of
Coward, I
flat
am.
Earth.
On screen. It's literally on screen. Okay, so stop running away like the coward you are, and let me finish.
Boris
A
is
I've
datum
given you
plane-
three fucking. I've
Hey,
given you
hey.
3 fucking chances,
Datum-
pal.
A datum plane. A datum plane. Did he mute me?
It's muted us.
No,
This is
I
a
didn't
coward.
mute you.
Okay, anyway, a datum plane is what your map, model, and measurements are based upon. Do
No,
you know
they're
a datum
not.
plane is a horizontal?
No, they're
Yes,
fucking
it
not.
is. It literally is, Sean.
That's not a
Just
map,
saying-
model, and measurements of your flat Earth. Now, here's your 4th chance, and this will be your last one. Present.
Guys, this is Sean Hawkins.
Present.
The coward can't.
Hey, Sean Hawkins,
Present.
can I ask you a question right quick? I'm going to throw
Present.
something at you. Brian's Logic took your globe measurements and your model and put it to the almanac, and they don't match at
They
all.
don't, exactly.
Almanacs match a flat plane, dude.
Exactly.
No, they
So
don't.
you need to stop telling me you
Yes,
asked me
they
for
do.
a map model
Brian's
and
a
this.
lying
or
sack
I'm
of
gonna throw you
shit.
out. You're not even reviewing the evidence at all.
No.
You're just going off what they've told you all
Yeah.
your life. You
There you go. So tired of that shit. What a bunch of fucking clowns. Present your evidence.
Happy birthday.
Well, look,
Happy
this
birthday,
is
Sean.
this is their. Oh, thanks, Brenda. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I've always thought you did really well with flat earthers. Now you switched to gaming. Okay.
Yeah. Well, gaming. I'm still doing flat Earth. 3D
okay.
printing. It's a kind of a mishmash. And I'm trying to get the window for the
Nice to meet
printer
you, Brenda.
to show.
Nice to meet you.
Let me do this.
It's fun to watch Flatzoid always desperately trying to find
Oh,
citations.
there it is.
And it ends up with these really weird websites. This was Translespedia or whatever that he found.
I mean, if he
Well,
if
he
he
needed
spent
to read the.
if he spent
he
as
needed
much
to read the rest-
time trying to
Yeah.
cherry picking
There he
the
is.
stuff
There
that
he is.
doesn't really work,
Why did
you
you
know,
kick me, Sean?
he'd be a happier person because you refused
you kick me?
to present your
I showed you
model
on screen.
measurements. No, you didn't.
I did. I showed you on screen.
No, you
I
didn't.
showed you on screen. I did.
No, you
I showed you on
didn't.
screen.
Sorry, pal, you
Yes.
didn't.
That's what you show, that the datum is a point. In your own citation, which you got from Translacepedia.
Yes. Yes. If you read the rest of that sentence, it said it was a reference point from which elevations are taken. If you read the whole sentence of the definition that he researched, it completely refuted what he was trying to say.
Probably. Probably. So yeah, I'm just tired of their bullshit. That's why the theme song is what it is. Nugget
It's also so much fun
Nugget
to
by
hear. You
Cake.
screw up.
So there, now it works. I don't know why probably because the Discord needed my camera, so it wouldn't allow another camera in OBS or something.
Yeah.
OBS is weird.
Yes, I'm sure there was a conflict there. That must have been it.
But on the YouTube stream, you can see I'm printing a Voronoi vase,
Oh, that looks fucking cool, man.
and it's a spiral. It has a solid bottom, and then it starts just printing a spiral. So there's no layer lines, or there's no seam where it starts the layer and stops the layer. So it's all just smooth, and it's a fractal. It's a 3D fractal. The Voronoi.
What's the maximum height you can print?
What?
What's the maximum height you can print?
About 12 inches. I can do a full-size head or a helmet or mask or whatever.
Oh, cool.
It's a big printer. It's 350 by 350 by 350 millimeters. So I think, hold on. About 13 inches. So.
That is some good work, man.
Yeah, it prints nice. It really does print a good surface finish. I mean, I'm really happy with it. And I've got the pieces printed, most if not all of them, to start to put together the Enraged Rabbit, the multi-color, multi-material unit that automatically selects colors and then prints them. So I'll have true multi-color prints instead of having to paint them or whatever. So it ought to be nice. So I've got a little work ahead of me on that. I've got a stream has ended. Wait, what? Oh, that stream has ended. But yeah, it's what was I saying? Yeah, I've got to fix the old printer. Have to get it working. I've got a new board for that. And then I have to hook the Enraged Rabbit up and do the software for that. And yeah, I got a little bit of work ahead. So, and everybody left.
Yeah, Brendan left. That's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see her hardly. When I first was doing Flat Earth stuff, I also used to watch the Young Turks. And I would, wait, where is that? I'd hear this caller named Brenda call in like almost every day, at least once a week, and would talk about politics with him. And then I heard the same sounding voice on.
She did?
Yeah, she used to call in the Young Turks a lot. Yeah, that's where I first knew her from. It's so weird. It's such a small world too.
I need to sign up again for TYT.
Yeah,
I lost contact.
they used to have a thing where if you were too poor to have a membership, they'd give you a membership for free, but they stopped doing that, I think. So I lost my membership. But but yeah, it was kind of nice being able to text them and share ideas that way. And they'd answer the text. They'd actually read them, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the Discord down and go back to debunking Flatzoid's video. I can only do so many things. So
Yes.
we'll
Oh,
talk,
yeah. Okay.
we'll talk to you later.
Cheers. Have a
Cheers.
great evening.
You too. All right. All right. Let me hey Rachie. Hey Zebra. Let me give you a wrench. Hope I can't do it there. Damn it. I gotta do this other shit. Hold on. Let me bring that down to there. Bring that to there. That'll work. And then I can do Windows capture. Make that smaller. We don't need to see it full screen. And we'll continue just fucking ripping these people apart for being the idiots they are. Actually, I'll bring that up higher. Yeah, it should work. Make this a little bigger. Actually, I don't know. We'll fiddle with it if we need to. Anyway.
Minutes ago. It was a long video. But I'm glad you concede. Yeah, level is horizontal.
What an idiot.
No.
He looks like he's 90 and suffers from the. He looks like he's 90 and
Yes, this is in real time. This is printing this fast. And it can go faster. It can go faster. This is on the fine setting. So if I put it on the fast setting, it'll print in half the time, but it won't look as pretty. It'll go faster. Yeah, that's just real time. The Ender could never do that. Yep. They attack people's appearance. I guess they don't own a mirror.
Media.
Hey, he's older looking.
Or a crack addiction.
It looks
But
like
wait.
from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
But don't worry, you think this is bad. Listen what he says quickly. Close your ears, kids.
Yesterday, I watched my first porno movie. I was surprised at how young I looked. Yesterday.
No, he didn't say that, did he?
That's a goddamn funny joke. That's a hilarious joke.
That's what he said.
Right.
That's what he
Okay.
said.
Yeah. It's a play on words. See that it's a switch at the end. See, that's what makes comedy funny. That's a funny joke.
Happy birthday, Sean.
I mean, it's just like, you know, I traded my rifle for a fishing boat or something. I got a fishing boat for my wife. Best damn trade I ever made. Here, I've got to. Trying to make you a moderator and I can't because I can't sign into the chat in Discord or in OBS when I'm already signed in. It's really stupid. Hold on. Yeah, I got a content warning. Ooh. And what I'll do is, there we go. when a new person's in, I'll go ahead and pop it to that window. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, we're watching an
I'm prawn.
1800s film, all right.
Who else is here? Stephen Jarvis, good to have you here. Hold My Pocket, Rachy, Zebra, Stanley Tools, West Side Girl Reacts, Hold My Pocket, Andrew Johnson. Why don't you have a wrench? That's weird. Thought you'd already had a wrench. You just had one on my other channel. I don't know. Well, I can't scroll back far enough to see you. But I can in OBS. That's weird. Yeah, I mean they were whining about people about being muted and being censored, and they fucking block everybody. What a bunch of pussies. So if you're new and you don't have a wrench, type something into the chat and I'll give you a wrench.
Voice says he looks 68. You being generous to him. Truth Cherry Popper says he looks 90.
Whoa.
Boy, 68 going on 80.
18 and life to go.
Debatable D. Sean Hawkins actually called us out. He challenged us to come and bait him for his birthday. And
right, on my live stream that I scheduled a week ago, or a few days ago, for the same time that I normally stream whenever I stream.
When he found out we said yes, he decided, let's change the time for the show.
No, I didn't change the time for the show. I had it scheduled before any discussion of it with you was done. So, you paranoid little mouse.
To when my show ends.
Yeah,
so we're going to go an hour longer tonight just so we can actually see if he's going to be...
He looks all right for the undead. For a zombie, not bad. Not bad.
He can get a part in
You have tits, okay?
Hollywood. He can play the zombie.
Yeah, just I want.
And you're not trans, so might want to keep your thoughts to yourself, pal.
See what he looks like shouting, brains, brains.
He reminds me of Bela Lugosi.
The Ungrateful Dead.
Really does.
What
Oh,
Nosferatu?
Yeah.
I've got a Nosferatu clip up saying Steve God.
And actually, this isn't what I wanted to show today. I could care less what they think. This is what I wanted to show.
Said was it's a fact.
And
Hypothetical
this
to our experience. And this is just
is a 3-hour and 22-minute deal, but like a third of it's question and answer. So we'll go ahead and speed it up to 1.5. They both speak pretty clearly.
just a fact, right? I mean, let's hypothetically say that we believe that we're going around the sun.
All right, let's start this from the beginning. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show, not Flatzoid's bullshit. Hey, that wasn't right.
This is Austin on Is the Earth the Center of the Universe? And Daryl has up to 10 minutes to get us started.
All
So
right.
Daryl, thank you so much for being here, and the floor is all yours.
Awesome. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, I'm sorry for not saying hello to everybody in the beginning. I was sort of distracted and doing other shit and trying to get the thing together.
Sure thing. When you get that fired up, we'll start the timer.
And I need to move this over here.
Thank you,
I
sir.
had it set, but apparently everything reset itself after I closed it in between time.
That's
So
all right.
let me just position this again.
Before everybody gets, fervently typing in the live section, this will give them a chance to actually hit the like button before they wear out their thumbs. See, that's how I'm going to pitch that tonight. All right, looks like we're up and running. So once the actual, there we go. Gravity disproves geocentrism. We have that on the screen there. 10 minutes on the floor.
Sounds good. So my name is Darrell Lee Berry Jr. A few of you may know.
And they just a thought that came to me. They actually have a system. It's these long tubes, basically like sandbags that you fill with dirt or like a crude cement or like a clay, like mud. And you fill them. It's got a machine that helps you fill it, and you can build houses out of it, like basically 3D printing by hand a house, a building. They have this. This is a thing on the market that you can buy.
Know me from a few previous debates
That's the house that I would live in if I had the money to do it.
I've done here. A little bit about me. Right now I'm a student at UT Austin. I'm a double major in physics and astronomy. I have 2 associate degrees, summa cum laude. I also work at the university as a learning assistant. So I'm definitely not an expert at physics, but I have a basic understanding. I help people learn it. Tutoring is available. If anybody's interested.
Damn, way to flop your big old cock out on the table.
My current research right now, which I'll talk a little bit about in my presentation, is solar composition and solar rotation. So I'll tie that into how we know that the solar system is heliocentric. I'll start with talking about gravity. So
yes, I'm summa cum laude. I'm a tutor. I'm a science communicator. I have a double major in math and physics. And what about you, Whitsett? I have opinions. I got some ideas.
The idea is, and this is a quote from one of my astronomy textbooks, the heliocentric system was secured when the 17th century British mathematician Isaac Newton developed a deeper understanding of the way all objects move and interact with one another. So the idea of talking about geocentrism is actually a de-evolution in logic and reasoning in science to pre-17th century. That's amazing. But this is what we're dealing with. But ever since Newton, Kepler came first, but Newton actually put the meat behind why Kepler's laws work. And it works on every single level. Of course, we have little g, 9.8 meters per second squared. We can determine an object that falls off a cliff, how long it takes to hit the bottom, how fast it reaches until it gets there. We can go farther out, like, for instance, the discovery of planets. So if you look into early astronomy, they only knew about the first 6 planets, and Neptune and so forth were too small to see, not even to mention Pluto, which they is counted as sort of a dwarf planet or whatever. But these laws and these understandings dealing with gravity and Kepler's laws and so forth allow them to predict where planets would be. And it's the perturbation in their prediction
that cracked me up. It's like they couldn't understand that, hey, Diver Dan, thanks a lot. They couldn't understand that the scientific method isn't science. It's just a way to do science in a more controlled way. They couldn't understand that you could do science before the scientific method was invented. I mean, that's fucking pathetic.
That allowed them to discover the planet Neptune. So the predictive power of these laws
and he wanted to guide me.
Formulas are highly precise, and they govern how the planets move, which allows us to predict when things will be. For instance, where Jupiter will be with all of its moons. You can see Uranus in the background. These are one of the things you can look online to see where things are in the solar system. We can predict these things to a T with Kepler's laws as far as relative positions. Then we brought it to a more accurate rendition with accurate distances to things now without the technology and everything that we have today. And it extends beyond the solar system. So we're talking about whether the Earth is the center of the universe. Here's a video of stars orbiting the black hole in the center of the Milky Way galaxy. I'm not sure. If I remember right, they might have even earned a Nobel Prize for this. I'm not sure about that part, though. But as we can see, these are stars orbiting the central black hole over a 20-year time lapse. So we can see gravity at work locally in the solar system. We can see the predictive power of it, which allows us to discover planets that we didn't know about before. We look into space, we see stars orbiting the central black hole, right? And then we can look even farther and look at, for instance, galaxies and clusters of galaxies. So this is the Bullet cluster. Is important because this cluster allowed us to determine that there must be some other matter in the universe that doesn't fit the normal parameters of baryonic matter, which we call dark matter. And we know that because we can look at the gravitational lensing, which is what these contours denote, and we can see that the majority of the mass, which is in the center, the reddish orange plasma, is not where the majority of the gravitational lensing is happening. So similar to how we utilize gravity to discover a planet, we utilize gravity to discover a different type of matter. So when things are similar in mass, like this is an actual picture on the left side of Sirius A and Sirius B, which, by the way, and I'll show it even farther, shows Witsit is completely wrong about the idea of stars not being spherical objects. But when stars are similar in mass, we can see them orbiting around a center of mass. And I'll start to tie this into the sun and the solar system. As I mentioned, my current research is about the sun. One of the things I did, I made a video on a while ago. I calculated the circumference of the Earth, a la Eratosthenes. Along the way, I calculated the size of the sun. We could see the sun in the sky. We know its angular size. We could have various ways to get its distance. We know it's 93 million miles away, for instance, from radar ranging. And simple calculations, I found that the diameter of the sun is 860,000 miles, which is very close to the official value. Now, these are some images from a satellite in space, a SOHO satellite. As part of my research, I'm determining the rotation of the sun. As you can see, the sun is a physical object. The sun is rotating. It's not just some electromagnetic thing or just fairy light in the sky like I heard Witsit talk about before. It's an actual object. So to go farther with that, I did a detailed.
Man, he's just destroying him in his intro.
Study of the spots, about 12 different spots. I studied it across its rotation around the sun. I calculated that the sun rotates about 15 degrees per day, about 23 days for a full rotation. The tangential velocity around the center of the sun is about 2.2 kilometers per second. Along the way, I also, in preparing for this, calculated the mass of the sun as well as the mass of the Earth. And it's pretty simple when you understand rotations and the orbits and the distances that's going on. Now, I know I'm dealing with a bunch of people that are very delusional about what satellites are and whether images are real. So part of my research, I went and got my own telescope and took some pictures of the sun on the left. You see my own picture of the sun that I took on the 3rd. I made a brief video while I was out there one day. On the right is the actual satellite photo from the same day amidst the pictures that I used to make that previous video. So as we can see close up, the sun is an object. It has blemishes on it that we call sunspots. It rotates as well with elements in the sun. So this is spectra I took of the sun recently. I've been getting better and better at getting spectra of the sun. If you look at the right, at the top, you can see that those elements are characteristics of elements in the sun. Hydrogen beta is hydrogen.
One thing I wanted to do, hold on a second. I didn't do this before it started because I forgot. I meant to put my PayPal link in there just if anybody wanted to help out or drop me some money on my birthday but I haven't had it in there for so long. Well, it's not there now. Not there. You have to go further back. Here it is. There we go. What? That didn't look right. No, that's not right. What the fuck? Let's do that. There we go. And there.
That has a certain transition of this electron, so they emit at a certain frequency, as well as carbon and magnesium. So these elements are pretty central to astronomy as far as studying stars.
But yeah, I got got this in the mail today. It's a replacement gear wheel. It's for a belt, for this type of belt, for a drive belt. So instead of the 3D printed one that I can't find right now. But yeah, a lot better. Anodized CNC aluminum is a lot better than plastic for a gear, in my opinion.
stars and even in other parts of the galaxy and elsewhere to see their composition and things of that nature. If you look at the bottom, the comparison is the same spectra on the right side, but those are telluric or earthbound elements. So oxygen, as well as water, right there around 720. An interesting thing I noticed, by the way, as a bit of a side, also compared to the spectra of the sun on a cloudy day. So on the left, that spectra looks pretty much like the sky spectra with slight differences because even though a lot of the spectra is still suppressed by the heavy cloud, as you can see, hydrogen, beta, carbon, and magnesium still makes it through, albeit at a lower intensity. But if you look at the spectra comparing water and oxygen, telluric oxygen to HB, C, and magnesium, I noticed at least that the depression of the oxygen is so great, obviously because the atmosphere is here, but apparently it seems like those frequencies of light even make it through some heavy interference, which may be why it's so central to astronomy. So I thought that was interesting. In my last minute here, I'll talk about some of the things that we can tell from observing the solar system, like retrograde motion, which is consistent with a sun-centered solar system. The things we can predict with our understanding of the solar system using Newton's laws, Kepler's laws, the positions of planets, retrograde, planetary conjunctions, orbits of comets, meteor showers. And of course, you know you couldn't get out of it without me mentioning solar eclipses, which is one of my favorite things. So that's an image of the solar eclipse from the ISS. And that's pretty much it. So I look forward to discussing more as we go along.
Excellent, and discuss we shall. So yeah, if you're having a good time, make sure that you hit the like button, boost us up in the algorithm. We are going to be doing Q&A before the end here. So if you have any questions for either of our speakers while I get our screens all fixed back up, definitely get it in now, and they'll be asked with priority. Look at that, guys. See how Zoom loves to just muck everything about? Perfect. All right, Austin, you have up to 10 minutes on the floor. Thank you so much for being here. I haven't seen you in a while, so it's good to be chilling on screen with you again, and I'll start your timer.
So let's see if Austin presents anything substantial.
Nice. Thank you, man. All right. Let's just cover some of the basics here. So what does typically happen in a lot of these discussions? It gets really into the weeds. And so I want to kind of lay basic premise of logic out here. The claim that the Earth is spinning and orbiting the sun is a positive claim that is antithetical to our experience.
So it's just automatically it's a burden of proof reversal, and I don't have to do anything because you have the burden of proof. Automatically, right off the bat.
This is just a fact, right? I mean, let's hypothetically say that we believe that we're going around the sun for a second. Well, we don't actually experience that. So we start to look at what we do experience and then try to explain it from that paradigm. That basic acknowledgement means that the one claiming that the Earth is going around the sun has the burden of proof. So what has happened over the course of time is this claim has evolved to now say that you could.
So they think that because they have an opinion about something, that's the default position in science.
Never actually detect or measure the Earth moving around the sun. It's impossible because time slows down and distances change, so there's no way to actually prove it or verify it. That all astronomical observations into the deepest parts of space that we can see will always make it look like the Earth is stationary and in the center of the universe, but that is just an illusion. You can never actually prove it with astronomical observation. So that is the current stillman. And to go more into this idea of, I will stillman the idea that gravity debunks geocentrism, and then I will show why it's wrong really quickly. This is the popular argument typically, or retrograde or parallax, and all of these things have what's called a kinematic equivalence, meaning that they're equally valid whether the Earth is in the center or not, according to the mainstream heliocentric model. So I don't want to lose people necessarily, but let's get into this idea about gravity.
Yes, but it's still the kinematic equivalence is still assuming that we're in space and there's planets and a big sun and an Earth and a moon. That's what that says. So if you're going to use that as an example, you're either a geocentrist or a heliocentrist, but you're not a flat earther.
So we go back to Newton at 1666, and he has his Principia, and he proposes this idea of gravity. And for those who don't know, Newton said he couldn't understand it at all. He basically just reverse engineered the kinematics of Kepler and then threw in a mass value. That's literally what it is. Kinematics has nothing to do with the force. That's dynamic. So anyway, that's where that idea comes from. And then Newton says, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't even see how this could really happen. I can't understand it. I think it must be
one of my favorite things is when Whitsitt tried to say that the formula for gravity was derived from some other formula when the guy had like died or the guy came after the gravity guy. It's like, yeah, okay.
Direct act of God, if this is correct, and there must be a background medium. That's why he subsequently wrote
because they're both quadratic equations. They thought they stole one equation from the other one.
About the ether in depth multiple times. Now, what they will not tell you in mainstream academia is that the final page of his Principia actually said, as a caveat to all the stuff he had previously discussed, all that being said, the Earth could, of course, be in the center of the universe. And he says this is because there could be gravitation and a force akin to that working in conjunction, and the Earth could just happily be in the center of the universe and explain all of the phenomena. The idea is that gravity, or that the sun has such a big mass that means that the Earth would have to go around it, is basically what someone's saying when they say that gravity debunks geocentrism. It actually isn't true. You can get into someone called Ernst Mach. He came along, a couple hundred years ago and pointed out that all of physics had overlooked this idea that according to Newton, in his actual dynamic claim, his proposal of gravity, you would have to concede the Earth could just be in the center of the universe. And that's because you could account for all the mass of the entire universe, and if that was moving around the Earth in the
I don't like modern physics. I don't like modern stuff.
Center, then that would satisfy the equations. Important to note that that's all that they are. They are equations. And what you will always hear is people just use the word gravity as if it is some verified, proven, defined idea. And in reality, the top levels of academia to this day.
It is. It is. It's well defined, well proven. Absolutely, it is.
Will tell you they have no idea what it is. Many are coming out now and saying we're clearly very wrong about what we even previously thought.
Right. We don't know how it's created, where it comes from, but we know it has an effect on things, and an effect so predictable. It's quantified. We've quantified it. We've tested it. We've confirmed it. We use it in everyday practice. So shut the fuck up.
Thought that it was. People would skip over the define or prove the gravity part, and they just use it typically in this more elementary level of like mass attracts mass. So to cut to the chase there, Ernst Mach pointed out, well, you guys forgot and overlooked that Newton thought the sun was in the center of the entire universe. He made the assumption the sun was in the center of the universe. But we now know that isn't true, right? We've looked out and we've seen that's not the case. So, like, there's stuff way beyond what people call and reify called the solar system. So,
right, yes, but the sun isn't the center of it, of our solar system. Our solar system is basically the center of the universe. The universe is infinite, so every point in space is the center.
He said, okay, now that we know that, and Newton obviously didn't take that into account, he assumed the sun was in the center of the universe. Now using his own dynamic claim, even if we were to grant it, it would denote that the Earth could be in the center of the universe. This is the Machian principle. Originally, Einstein pushed against this and ended up conceding and apologizing to Mach and be like, wow, turns out you got ridiculed for no reason. You were right. I can't even propose my theory if I don't acknowledge that the Machian principle that you're talking about is correct. Then Einstein ends up telling the world the Earth would be in the center of the universe. So let me run you through a few things that definitively show it. And like I said, our experience in the default position is that the Earth is in the center of the universe. What has happened over time is that the heliocentric model was just kind of reified. It was proposed by people with religious motivation, which is the irony is palpable, you know, when it comes to how people approach this conversation as the dichotomy of science versus religion. Heliocentrism was birthed from religion. Religious beliefs that the sun was some type of deity or tied to some type of deified source. Literally, all the prominent people that proposed it. But anyway.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Right. So we're going to fast forward to...
Yes, ignorant people worship the sun. That doesn't mean the heliocentric model came from religion, you stupid fuck.
People assuming that the heliocentric model was true because they had their little occultic sun-worshipping beliefs. And then we get to things such as Michelson-Morley. And Michelson-Morley, assuming the Earth orbits the sun, assuming that there was a background medium called the ether, which had been verified with multiple tests at that point, wasn't even disputed, they did not detect the motion of the Earth. I'm going to really make this point, and we'll see if this ever actually gets directly addressed because it's typically avoided. So the Michelson-Morley had an error margin of 1 kilometer a second. So if the reading could be off in 1 kilometer per second, either direction. They consistently got a measurement around 6 kilometers per second. They were supposed to detect a 30 kilometer per second orbit around the sun. This changed all of physics. This didn't just get rid of the ether, it changed all of physics. Einstein came in and then gave us this idea of relativity, embracing relative motion in space and time, bending and warping, time slowing down, et cetera, that basically equates to you could never actually detect it. That's why Einstein himself said in multiple different quotes and writings and letters and publications that he's come to the conclusion you can never actually detect that the Earth is orbiting around the sun in any experiment on the Earth ever. Okay, so that's an unfalsifiable claim, right? That's so again, that side objectively has a burden of proof, and they're stapling their entire claim with an unfalsifiable position. So frankly, that kind of ends the debate. But here's the main thing. Einstein said, okay, yeah, we are consistently getting that reading. And so he came up with an idea to say, oh, well, based on the way that space and time bend and warp, and actually we're free falling, Newton was wrong. We're not going around because of a force. So you can't detect, you're just going to get zero. You can't detect the orbit even though we're moving. But they did keep on getting a measurement. Then Dayton Miller replicated it. Millions of measurements. And then it's been replicated into modern times. Now, this is what Einstein said about Dayton Miller's replications that kept verifying, oh, we are detecting.
Oh, always ragey.
Detecting a little bit of motion, but it can't be the Earth orbiting the sun. He said, if that is true, if Dayton Miller's measurements are accurate, my entire theory collapses like a house of cards. And if it's not due to some underlying fundamental error, I have no explanation, and it completely disproves everything that I've proposed to save the heliocentric paradigm. Okay? Well, here is the question that I want to wrap up with. This summarizes the entire debate. They could never, and no one ever has, proposed exactly what this supposed error is. What is the cause of this error? They try to say it was temperature. They control for radiant heat sources and proof that it wasn't. So the measurement is consistently showing a correlation with direction and altitude and solar motion periodicity, the time of the year. So this cannot be an error. This cannot be an instrumental error. The instrument doesn't care what cardinal direction it is. The instrumental error doesn't care what time of year it is. Okay, and then we can get into obviously all the observations where you get into Edwin Hubble that showed that, oh wow, never mind, the Earth does look like it's in the center, and that's where you get the idea of anisotropic, homogeneous distribution in all directions that makes the Earth look like it's in the center. So we'll start there. I got 30 seconds left, so I'll say this: parallax, retrograde, stellar aberration. All of these things are not even on the table as exclusive to heliocentrism. So again, to reiterate, the people claiming that we are in fact orbiting the sun have the burden of proof. So the question should be answered, and this is the question.
Actually, stellar parallax would be on the table because that's exclusively in the domain of the heliocentric model. On flat Earth, everything is at the same distance, and there'd be no parallax. Everything's in the firmament, so there would be no parallax. So if you measure stellar parallax, it disproves the flat Earth and the dome.
Conclusion: Do you have any exclusive evidence that the Earth is in fact orbiting the sun? If it is not, it is in the center of the universe.
All right. Well, that was a perfect time wrap up pretty much there. So I appreciate that, Austin. Thank you so much for your introductory statement. Thanks again to our live
Yes, he's got his script timed.
chat, everybody hanging out and making contributions to the chat. We appreciate you. I've put a poll up, so if you're the type of person that doesn't miss your mouth with a fork, you can hit the like button and participate in our poll there. So we're going to carry into our open discussion. Once again, we'll be doing a Q&A at the end, everybody, so if you put in a super chat, we'll read that with priority. Yeah, Daryl, I'll hand the floor over to you to respond to some of what you've just heard, and then Austin, feel free to jump in. It's open discussion time.
So what's it? Can we just go ahead and just go to the question of answer and end this debate because you're so wrong? Would you just agree that you're so wrong about stuff? We could just end it now and call you the loser of the debate. Would you agree to that?
What in the world kind of question
This
is
was
that?
not the approach we were expecting. Yes,
Hey, man, do you have any proof the Earth moves around the sun?
Let me give an example of what I mean. One moment here. I'll show a very, I'll play a very short clip. This is you speaking. So one moment here.
Because
You're not gonna-
you just start to see, you're going to be able to know where it's going to be in a few days, more and more so the closer it is to that moment, right? Like you're seeing it moving in its path, and so it's getting closer and closer to where it's going to be, which just kind of shows that their whole facade of how well they understand the sky is a lie.
Right. So you just said that them being off on that eclipse a little bit means they don't know what they're talking about. Their predictions are all lie.
No,
Now,
time.
you all-
What, Daryl, I can promise you what's not going to happen is that you're going to play out of context clips and then rephrase and tell the audience what I was saying. So now, and by the way, I'm here right now.
That's not what I'm doing. So,
Daryl, real fast,
so,
just
so,
so-
Just hold on one second, Daryl. One second,
address you-
Daryl. Just one second,
so-
Daryl. You played a clip of Austin speaking. I think it's fair for Austin to explain the context of the clip, and then let's carry on. Just because you are using his own, his own voice there. So let's give Austin a chance.
I just want to really quick. I'm actually here right now, so you can talk to me. That's a kind of a weird tactic to do anyway. But the context was that provably anyone that actually knows how eclipse predictions are done, which is completely irrelevant to anything being discussed in our openers, and this is a complete red herring from the beginning of the debate. I was saying that actually you have to look at the inclination measurements and many different measurements of the moon, and every astronomer will tell you that you have to make these measurements closer and closer to time to get a more precise measurement or prediction. And I said that actually shows that this whole facade that they could just map it out perfectly 10,000 years in advance, so they know exactly what the heliocentric model does, isn't true. You have to look at the actual moon within a few weeks leading up to every eclipse to get a more accurate prediction of where it's going to be and exactly when it's going to be. So you were trying to misrepresent that, and I don't really know what that has to do with the discussion anyway.
I'm leading to that right now. That's why I wanted to play another clip right away because it's measured. It's pertinent to something else that was in near that discussion.
Big tactic was to come with clips of me talking at other times.
I'll show you momentarily. We're going to talk together now. This is you.
But what I really want to make sure, this is the proper way to
Yeah, it's called throwing your words back in your face.
do this. There's a claim on the table that we know what the eclipse is. It's that the spherical moon is getting in front of the spherical sun. That cannot be what's happening because the shadow is a circle. And spheres don't cast circle shadows on other spheres. It creates an S-wave shadow. So we can throw that explanation out. It's been refuted with geometry.
All right. So this is you saying that geometry proves that the eclipse can't be happening the way they say it's happening because shadows can't cast a spherical object can't cast a spherical shadow.
All right.
So
Just
let me
in
show
the
you an
interest of
experiment I did today
one second there,
and
Daryl.
get your response.
I'm so sorry. I'm just in the interest of fairness, once again, if you're going to play clips of Austin, I think it's fair for him to respond and give us some context of where what he might have been saying there, or even just pull us into some of the talking points he may want to discuss tonight. We're totally fine to go down different avenues of what's been talked about, but like I said, I think it's only fair that we give Austin a chance to respond before we just keep moving to the next thing. So, Austin, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'd just like to make a point that the first time you proposed it, you just gave me very strong evidence and had nothing to say about it. And this is going to happen again. So I didn't say that spheres can't cast circular shadows. What I said is if you take a sphere and you put it in front of another sphere to cast a shadow, so it's casting a shadow onto another sphere, it will objectively, provably, verifiably distort that shadow. It will not remain a perfect circle as it crosses the entire face of the other sphere. This is, again, basic geometry, because, of course, the surface of the sphere is convex. So that's what was actually said. None of that has anything to do.
It won't distort from the point of view or the viewpoint of a person on Earth. It won't distort that way.
With the question of if the Earth is in the center of the universe.
What you just said, and everybody heard it. What you said was that this can't happen. You said that a sphere can't cast a circular shadow.
All right, later, Zebra. Good to have you here. Thanks for coming.
On another sphere is going to cast an S-type shadow, and the circular shadow that we saw, this was on the 8th of April, so it seems you were talking about that eclipse that is circular, so it's impossible. You're wrong.
Okay, now we're going to correct you again.
Just today.
We're going to have to correct you again, Daryl. So actually what I said was if you take a sphere and you move it in front of the face of another sphere, as it goes from one side of the face of the sphere to the other, it will distort. It will distort. There are many videos of people doing it. Not if you just find the perfect angle that you can cast one. If you move that baseball in front of that basketball from face to face, that sphere will distort from a perfect circle. This is easily verified. And again, a complete red herring out the gate from the actual subject of the debate.
I see it right there on the screen. The subject of the debate, this is why I bring this up. Your entire presentation was pretty much, believe me, bro, you presented no evidence. You presented no references. All you did was say a bunch of stuff and say this is how it is, right?
Yep.
So the only thing you presented is just...
Yep, absolutely. That's all what it ever does is say, believe me, bro, these are my opinions. You have to trust me.
Your word, believe in your word. I'm pointing out that your word can't be counted on.
Wait, we're going to actually make sure that you admit you're wrong, and everyone in the chat is going to, they're all claiming that you got me. And also, do you agree that it's different when I say that if you take a sphere and move it across the entire face of another sphere, that as it moves across it, the shadow will become distorted in the process of moving across the convex surface. That is different than taking a still shot of a sphere in front of another sphere to get a circle. Are those different things?
I'll give you something better than that.
Are those different things?
I'll give you something better than that.
You can't answer.
Pay attention to how this conversation has progressed and just use a little bit of wisdom, pattern recognition, and discernment. Realize that when someone is telling the truth, they are going to stay consistent. They're going to remain consistent. Someone that is representing something untrue wants to constantly shuck and jive and update and change their position.
So what you're doing, according to your own words, is you're shucking and jiving. What you're saying now does not match the clip I played. And that's why, Ryan.
You played it out of context. How about you want to bet live right now $10,000 that if I go find that clip, that's what I said?
I know he's going to change what he said. That's
why. Do you want to bet right now in front of the whole audience $1,000 that if we go find me talking about it in context, that's exactly what I said?
Wait, you said 10,000 first, didn't he? He said 10,000 first.
So what you're doing, according to your own words, is you're shucking and jiving. What you're saying now does not match the clip I played. And that's why, Ryan.
You played it out of context. How about you want to bet live right now $10,000 that if I go?
Yeah, $10,000. You said 10,000. What's it?
I know he's going to change what he said.
Okay, do you want to bet right now in front of the whole audience $1,000 that if we go find me talking about it in context, that's exactly what I said?
I'll tell you what I can do. I can put the links to each of these in the chat right now. If you give me a moment. Every single
so you
one
will bet that. So, so basically, this completely backfired. You got to lead your points twice. They weren't even relevant to geocentrism, and we can recap them very briefly. You brought up the eclipse and how you said you strawman that I said that because they had to kind of change it. It disproves geocentrism. Lie. I had to correct you. What I actually said was it's a fact that any astronomer will tell you that you have to make more and more measurements closer to the time of the eclipse to actually get the final prediction because we don't know exactly what the inclination, angle, etc. of the moon is going to be. That is.
It's true. It's true.
Fact that backfired. You ran away from it. Secondly, you thought you had some big gotcha with the still shot picture because you didn't actually understand what I was saying when you took another clip out of context, which is it's actually about moving it across the sphere. If you understood basic geometry, you would understand why. Because at one point the shadow is going to be further away from the actual object casting the shadow than it is in front of or closer to the apex of the convex surface. So obviously there's going to be a difference in distance as the object moves in front of the other one, which will distort it, making it more of an S shape. We verified it. There are dozens of videos where you can watch it actually be distorted. This completely backfired. Now let's go back to the actual topic of the debate, and I'll ask my question again because if you think I just have to sit here and listen to you play out of context clips of me all night where I have to continually scold you and then you just run away from it, that's not really what I agreed to. The question is simple. I'm going to give you the floor. It's just a simple question, man. It's pertinent to the actual discussion. Do you have any proof that the Earth is moving around the sun?
Yes, we do.
First thing is, since all you presented is your...
Yes, the retrograde of Mars and Venus. Or Mercury and Venus. Mercury and Venus, I think. I know Venus for sure. So, yeah, the retrograde of planets proves that we orbit the sun, not everything orbits us. So...
word for your presentation. And now we find from your own words, you're just shucking and jiving, right? You haven't presented anything. So it's typical of you. And because I'm not going to let you run from this point. These are your actual words so people can compare from what you actually said.
Because you just start to see, you're going to be able to know where it's going to be in a few days, more and more so the closer it is to that moment, right? Like you're seeing it moving in its path and you're getting closer and closer to where it's going to be, which just kind of shows that their whole facade of how well they understand the sky is a lie.
Now, the funny thing is, you seem to be so happy.
Yeah, he thinks like being off by 1 degree or something like that makes the entire work of science invalid. He's one of these people that thinks that if you're off by just a little bit, everything you believe in is wrong, and I'm correct about everything. That's what he thinks. Right?
About quotes when it's somebody else's quotes. When you talk about Einstein, right? When you're talking about whoever, but suddenly quotes are not a thing.
I fully stand behind that quote, Daryl.
If you go to my presentation,
I mean, they can predict them accurate enough for people to like go to a place weeks in advance to wait for it to happen. You know, they can do it that accurately.
I showed that the sun is a physical object. I showed the massiveness of the sun by observation. I showed my own picture of the sun where we know that the satellite photos are accurate. I showed that the sun is rotating. Took a picture of the sun.
It's like I measured this thing at 6 inches. 6 what? Well, it's actually 50, not 5 inches. It's actually 5.999999999 inches. Then it isn't 6 inches. Math is wrong.
Show that the sun is made of physical objects. Newton's laws dictate, just like how we drop something on the ground, just like how if we look at the planets rotating, how we discovered Uranus, just like how we can look at the stars, just like how we can look at the stars orbiting around.
Hey, phrasing.
The center of the galaxy. My whole presentation was evidence.
No, we know. So you don't have any proof.
You asked me to answer your question. I'm answering. Let me answer.
You don't have any proof.
My whole presentation.
Yeah, so it's just denial. What's it, right? Just so you don't have any proof, other than what you just took 10 minutes to present. You don't have anything, right?
Was the evidence that we know
the sun being a physical object proves the Earth is not in the center of the universe. Explain how that works.
The idea is that mass attracts mass. One of the things.
That's not even what your model claims anymore.
Yeah, it does. What the fuck are you talking about?
And you want to talk about obfuscating. Who's obfuscating now?
All right.
Literally, not me.
The model absolutely claims that, you fucktard.
Literally to explain my point. You asked me. You said. Stop here and answer this question. I said no. First, let's finish this.
Oh, fair enough. Let me repeat the question, and I'm just going to let you fully explain it.
Okay.
I asked you, do you have proof the Earth moves around the sun? You listed off a bunch of things that don't prove it at all. One of them was that you showed that the sun is a physical object. Please explain how that's exclusive to heliocentrism.
Explain how. You notice how you changed the question?
Because flat earthers don't know what it is, and it's just a light in the sky. It's not a real object. That's why.
Shucking and driving.
Same question.
And driving. Can you just be honest and ask a direct question and let me answer it instead of changing
please
the
explain to the audience how showing that the sun's a physical object is somehow exclusive evidence of heliocentrism.
Exclusive evidence of heliocentrism. Your question is not making sense, man. Let me explain what I'm saying. Let me explain what I'm saying, and then we can go from there. You already asked the question. I was answering it, and now you're interrupting me and changing the question.
Let's carry into the question there, Daryl. Yeah, before we get into meta discussion, let's just go ahead and answer.
He's the one that's doing the meta discussion. He interrupted my answer.
I keep on having to ask the actual topic.
All right, we're doing it again, fellas. Go ahead and let's try to focus on the question.
So I'll start again with what I was saying.
Which is completely floundering. It's hilarious.
My whole presentation is the evidence that the solar system is heliocentric. So, I demonstrated or showed that the sun is a physical object. It's not some electromagnetic thing. It's not all these different ideas that I know some of the flat earthers, they probably took pictures of planets and stars and got these blobs. I showed that you can see that it's a physical object and it's moving. I personally took spectra of the sun and confirmed that there's elements in the atmosphere of the sun that it's a physical object. We know that mass attracts mass from dropping something on the Earth, 9.8 meters per second squared, from looking at the orbits of the planets, from using that understanding to predict that other planets have to be there that we didn't know about that we can now see with our telescopes. All of these things confirm that gravity is real. Looking at the stars rotating around the center of the galaxy, looking at the galaxy clusters, the bullet cluster, and seeing gravitational interaction. All of these things confirm that gravity is real. Therefore, since the sun is as massive as it is, the only way we can have an orbit is and technically they orbit each other, but the mass of the sun is so great that it's essentially in the same spot. Therefore, the Earth orbits the sun. Unless you can debunk gravity, right? We know that we live in a heliocentric system.
Yeah, actually, they say the sun actually does this. Because the gravity of the Earth and the other planets actually create a barycenter that's not in the center.
That was the nature of my presentation because I was anxious to get on this topic. That's why I based it on gravity. So let's go.
Yeah, I addressed that argument in my opening.
No, you didn't. You said, "No, you have the burden of proof." That's what you said in your opening argument. What's it?
Opener. And I explained that even Newton himself, in the very publication that he proposed gravity that you're invoking of mass attracting mass.
Right. So you cherry picked Newton. You quote my Newton. You said a whole bunch of words, but you didn't present anything.
Which is no longer considered admissible at the highest levels of academia in your paradigm. Okay, he explains on the last page that the Earth could in fact be in the center of the universe utilizing his theory of gravity. Literally, Newton himself said it. Secondly, I explained Newton thought the sun was in the center of the universe. So we had the same train of thought that you're proposing. Well, if the sun is really massive, it's the greatest mass, then of course it must be in the center, and that causes the Earth to go around it because the Earth has a smaller mass, the sun has a bigger mass, therefore that's how we can say that the Earth is...
In olden days, who thought that the Earth was the center of everything? The Catholics. Are you a Catholic? Whitsitt? Are you one of those stinking Catholics that you guys hate? Because you're preaching the same kind of rhetoric that the Catholic Church preached.
Is revolving around the sun. He thought the sun was in the center of the entire universe. Then Ernst Mach came along using Newton's actual theory and showed definitively with the dynamics and equations of Newton's proposal that if he had have known the sun actually wasn't in the center of the universe and that there was a ton more mass outside of it, then he would know that, for example, distant galaxies.
So basically, flat Earth is religious rhetoric, like Catholic religious rhetoric.
And their rotational momentum would actually have...
You think all those illuminated manuscripts were written by heathens? No, those were Catholics. Those were dedicated Catholic bookmakers, scribes, calligraphers, artists. Those were Catholics. All those pictures of those pictures of flat Earth from the ancients, that's all Catholic, man. That's all religion.
Have overpowered the local assumed gravitational field of the sun. Now, this is me granting you the mass of the sun and all these other things that you actually can't verify. I went into your own backyard and showed you that you don't understand Isaac Newton at all, and that's not even what's considered valid. And let me share screen real fast to show you something about Newton. You've said 3 times now that they used this gravity to somehow, just to clarify.
But something snapped to one, something.
I just showed demonstrably, and I will show the quotes if I have to, from the very source you're invoking, it isn't actually exclusive evidence that there's in the center. But I want to say that the more important part is you're basically saying it has predictive capability, which I touched on that as well. I said it's actually Kepler's ratio using radii, right? And that's kinematics reverse engineered it. But to not get too lost in the weeds, you said that they discovered Neptune this way, right?
I mean, he's such a narcissist. He thinks that in a scientific discussion, he can just get by with words.
So your whole argument was like, oh, we know gravity's true because they discovered Neptune with it. Do you care if I share screen real quick?
Oh, you can go ahead for sure. But before you go ahead and start, discussing what's on screen here.
Yeah, see, we understood that that the planet should orbit at a certain rate and a certain way based on what we considered their distance from the sun, based on Kepler's formulas. And we found that there was a perturbation, a disturbance. Something was causing them not to do what we would expect them to do. So we did the math. I say we, like our team won. They did the math. They discovered that they realized that there should be something preventing it. And they, using the scientific model, the predictive scientific model, they said, okay, at such and such a night, at such and such a time, if you point your telescope in this direction, you'll see this planet, this thing that we think is doing all this. And they did, and you know what? Fucking saw Neptune.
Daryl wanted to respond to some of what he just heard.
Sure, yeah.
I'm with him doing his thing. Go ahead.
All right, awesome. Go ahead, Witsit.
So let's see how bad Witsit fucks it up.
All right, cool. So I want to Okay, so just a faint flicker in them or in one of them every time we hear the triumphant discovery of Neptune, this quote-unquote monumental achievement of theoretical astronomy, right? So the textbooks omit this, that instead of the
It's not theoretical astronomy, dipshit.
orbit Neptune agreeing with the calculations of Adams and Leverrier, it was so different that Leverrier said that it was not the planet of his calculations. Later, it was thought best to say no more upon the subject. The textbooks omit this, that in 1846, everyone who knew a sine from a cosine was out signing and cosigning for a planet beyond Uranus. Two of them guessed right. To some minds, even after Leverrier's own rejection of Neptune, the word guessed may be objectionable, but according to Professor Pierce of Harvard, the calculations of Adams and Leverrier would have applied quite as well to positions many degrees from the position of Neptune. Or Professor Pierce's demonstration that the discovery of Neptune was only a happy accident, and then it quotes the American Academic Sciences. And I want to point out, Neptune was observed before the alleged discovery. Tons of people made tons of actual quote-unquote predictions of these extra planets, and that even the proposed calculation that supposedly did actually predict it, it could have predicted many different other planets. The person that even was attributed to it wasn't the one that he calculated for. So there's the actual citation. Again, you can go look at Professor Pierce from Harvard, and it is called the Proceedings of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. All
right, if you want to leave that up, if you want to respond to that, Daryl, while it's on the screen.
So you said a whole bunch of stuff. The only thing out of that I can relate to, because I've confirmed the nature of it myself, we agree that given the sun is as massive as we know it is, then the Earth we would have the Earth orbiting the sun. Everything else is pretty much still just the whole front of that stuff was your word. Then we have this document that compared to evidence, like the predictions that we have, is not even worth my time. I've already showed you a trucker and driver according to your own words. So no, you're not presenting anything but just your words and something else that you could be getting wrong. So I presented actual observations, actual reportings, actual evidence that you can sink your teeth into. That so you know what, something you can do if you actually wanted to get my attention. If you wanted to, why don't you do this? So let us know. Let's see. When is the next time Mercury is in inferior conjunction, given your model of the geocentric solar system? When is the next time Mercury is in inferior conjunction?
Literally any ephemeris you would use to determine that, all but two are geocentric.
Oh, good. Well, show us the model then. Let's do that.
Let me show you the list of all the ephemeris that are literally all
show the positions of the planets and the sun and how the orbits go and the formulas we can use to calculate that for ourselves.
Okay, it's literally just about the periodicity of the planets, and we map them out from a geocentric position. All the ephemeris are geocentric. Your model would claim, oh, well, we do that for convenience sake because we're
periodicity.
Observing it from the Earth, and relatively speaking, it's the same anyway. So any prediction of conjunctions or anything like that would literally be a direct it would be equally valid. It would be an equivalent kinematic prediction. This is like basic stuff. So we have to get back to like, can you actually, do you agree that you can't actually like detect and
see him reversing it back on him? He does this constantly. He just reverses it back on the person asking the question.
Measure with any type of experiment or test that the Earth is actually orbiting around the sun at 66,600 miles per hour. Do you agree that that's impossible to actually detect, measure?
6,600 miles an hour. That's a factorial of the mark of the beast, or the number of the beast, isn't it?
Verify with experiment or measurement.
Right. So again, we have still just words. Apparently, you can't do it. And then we want to try to get into this ephemeral thing about measuring the motion and things. So we're going to go back. So to make sure we're clear, you're saying that we're living in a geocentric solar system, which means that all of science is wrong. We could predict and know the position of all the planets, where they're at, when they're going to be there. But we're understanding that you can't do that. You can't show us that model. So between the two, your position goes in the trash bin. And
the print I'm doing is also like a test to just see the limits of the printer on like something with a thin wall, real tall, with no brim, holding it down. So
we understand that the Earth is that the solar system is a heliocentric system. That's the way that works. So you can see, right, that.
Do I concede what?
That you can't do it. You have nothing to offer. The heliocentric wins.
No, I guess you want to share screen because what I just said is a fact, and no.
Why? Why? What's it? Because that's you. That's what you demand of everyone else, right? if they can't prove everything to you right there, then the Earth is flat, right?
No one would deny this that has even a basic. You're saying that it's just what your argument here is that I have to pull up literally everything. That's fine. I will. Like,
Go ahead and
that's
share
pretty
screen if you'd
desperate. Sure. I'm not. So I have to actually share the images. Here are some screenshots. I mean, this is weird because it's well known that we use like an Earth-centered, Earth-fixed coordinate system.
So he's got screenshots. So he's got no evidence of his own, right?
And most of the actual models used are geocentric. The ephemeris
But like Google's bad, right?
is literally geocentric, but it's all good. I'll show you.
All right.
Okay.
And we'll remind our audience, we will be doing a Q&A. I'll remind people that Super Chats get you priority. And as well, if you like what you're hearing from either of our speakers, we will have them tagged in the description. And that includes in our podcast forum, which all of these debates are uploaded within 24 hours to pretty much every podcast service that you want to name. So if you're listening to one that we're not on, let us know. But whenever you're ready there, what's it? Just let me know.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to make sure the image will be like a decent size, but we'll just go ahead and do it.
Did you know if you just click and hold your mouse on a YouTube video, it will play at 2x?
Share screen.
Hey,
it's weird to me, but all right, I'm just sharing the image, right?
Yeah, you're.
So if you're watching something and you just don't want to see a part, you just click and hold, and it doesn't work on a phone.
You got the image, and our faces are on screen too, so everybody can see our lovely mugs. But you're up and sharing.
These are the geocentric ephemeris data for all the quote-unquote planets and the sun and the moon. All the calculations are by Fred Espenak, the main guy who literally did all of that for NASA, all eclipse and planetary alignment predictions for NASA, the main top guy, and did it for years and years and years. And he's also on record literally saying that he just uses geocentric coordinates. Here they are. Here's the key to the geocentric ephemeris of the planets. So here's literally everything that you need. And there's, of course, an entire list of all of this. So I guess, were you just not aware that we use like ECEF coordinate systems to map out the sky?
So telling us where things are relative to the Earth, I mean, we see things relative to the Earth. That is not modeling a geocentric. I want you to actually show us how you can model the positions of everything, where they're going to be, with a geocentric. Give us the equations. Give us what we can do. Like I said, this is my original question. Let us know when Mercury would next be in infrared conjunction, and show us how you do that. Show us positions of everything.
Okay, that's not how debate works, Daryl. You think you get to come to debate and then you have some pop quiz question and say, hey, I want you to show us mathematics.
No, he wants evidence, dude, not just your words. You should have already had this ready.
How you're going to predict this specific astronomical event in the middle of a debate. But of course, anyone that's actually interested, they can go look up Andre Assis, a professor, a mathematics professor. He writes in relational mechanics the specific equations you can use. There are many different ones. You can also look up Luka Popov with the Neo-Tychonic system. I don't have to claim a specific model anyway, but both of those have the equations. You can use a Lorentz magnetic force and equivalent, the dynamic equivalent using Mach's principle. You can actually you can make all predictions with the geocentric model, assuming all those distances and masses that you believe in. I don't believe in them. That's why I don't make that claim. We're going to go back to the fact that the matter is you won't even answer. I'm answering all your questions. You're playing clips of me, but you refuse to answer even the most basic question. The first one was, do you have any actual exclusive evidence that the Earth orbits around the sun? The second was, can you at least concede that there is, according to your own paradigm, that there is no measurement, test, or experiment of any kind that you can do on the Earth to detect and verify that the Earth is orbiting around the sun, that you can actually physically measure and test and verify in real life to measure?
Yeah, you can. There are tests. There absolutely are tests. But see, what you're doing is taking out of context what Einstein said when he said there's no terrestrial method or mechanical method for detecting motion or something like that. So you're basically going that way. And you ignore in that quote, you ignore where he says, but the Earth is orbiting the sun. So
measure the Earth going around the sun. Do you agree
something
that you
like
cannot
that
actually detect the Earth
All
moving
right, David,
around the sun?
Answer both of those questions. The first question.
You're pooping. What? Okay, we'll come back.
I went over how my whole presentation is evidence that the Earth goes around the sun. The second question, I told you, I confirmed you're a trucker and driver. All you're doing is giving words, and I'm not going to accept your words. I've already addressed that. And just pointing out a reference that gives the position of everything relative to where the Earth is, that's not the same as what I was asking. That's not the same as showing that let's put it like this. You're saying that all of science is wrong. You are saying that. You're saying that the majority of scientists for the last 2,000 years are wrong. Somehow you understand the way the solar system really works, and all of this is wrong. Yet we can point out where everything is, right? You can see that we can scale workings of it as a heliocentric model. If your model
I'm trying to get Monkey on the camera. I think you'd like to see him.
was better. If your model was better, and you really understood it to the point that you were able to overthrow, similar to how when Copernicus came along and started to overthrow the Ptolemaic model, and then when Kepler came along and increased the Copernican model, Kepler was able to give his equation, right? He was able to give his equation, P squared equals A cubed, and he was able to give that equation and calculate all the positions quite accurately of all the planets that he knew about. We're able to take that equation today and, like I said, predict things like finding other planets that was not there. That's the level of detail that you need if you want to claim you're overthrowing the model. You're not doing that. So for you to say you can't expect me to have that, that shows you're out of your league in addressing science. You have no clue what you have to do to even address it. You know, a couple didn't come along and say, hey, you know what, and just say a bunch of words. Or, you know, he actually came with an equation that we were able to quantify where everything was, and the predictive power of his model, right, confirmed it to be real and valid.
right, go ahead there, Austin, if you want to
Oh,
respond.
sorry, I was muted. Yeah, we're sharing screen the whole time. Look, dude, that was really fallacious. Okay, in many ways. Obviously, you just continually avoid the actual point. So you're using red herrings, using stereotype fallacies, hasty generalization fallacies, poisoning the well fallacies, reification fallacies, over and over and over. And just to say, like, oh, you think you're smarter than everyone else, so you're basically appealing to majority, appealing to authority, or using a credentials fallacy and a genetic fallacy. That was the most fallacious conglomerate of nonsense I've heard in a long time, respectfully. But I would really appreciate us actually discuss the point here. So I specifically cited a mathematics professor who has provided all the equations. I will now go find it and pull it up. So I have to pull up like a 290-page, publication and find it for you. But I am citing it. So anyone at home that actually interested in the truth can obviously go and look at everything that I'm saying. Again, though, I've answered all of your questions, even questions that were clearly your attempt to try to bring in flat Earth to this. I've answered clips out of context, all of that. And you can't answer one simple question. And my question was, can we actually physically detect, or measure?
It has a flaw. I don't know if you can see it right there. It's kind of rough. There's a gap. Somehow it had an under extrusion at that point, and it had nothing to build on in the next layer, so there's like this gap. It sucks.
Measure the actual physical motion that you claim exists of Earth's orbit. Do you concede that you cannot, according to your own paradigm, cannot actually detect it?
Higher up.
Pass the ball.
All right, I've already established you're a truck driver, so I'm not going to accept what you tell me my model is. I've already said that. Secondly, to address what you said earlier, I wasn't just, when I was talking about the arrogance of feeling you know better than scientists, I was not just pulling something out of my ass, as the saying goes.
Dude, I'm not trying to brag here or whatever, just to make my point. I'm in the higher percentile of IQ. You would get demolished. I would wipe the floor with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Literally, I would demolish that dude. Oh, okay, my 160 IQ disagree with you. Claim I'm stupid, claim I'm dumb.
All right.
Claiming he's smarter than everybody. I never claimed to be smarter than everybody. You say that I think I am, and then he plays it. I love it. Let's watch that again. Watch his expression. It's like you think all of science is wrong, and you're right. That means that you think you're smarter than everybody. I'm trying to get Monkey in here.
All right, I've already established you're a truck driver, so I'm not going to accept what you tell me my model is. I've already said that. Secondly, to address what you said earlier,
I mean, it's exactly like when MC Toon played his thing where you have to account for refraction.
I wasn't just, when I was talking about the arrogance of feeling you know better than scientists, I was not just pulling something out of my ass, as the saying goes.
Dude, I'm not trying to brag here or whatever, just to make my point. I'm in the higher percentile of IQ. You would get demolished. I would wipe the floor with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Literally, I would demolish that dude. Oh, okay, my 160 IQ disagree with you.
Look at the panic. Oh my God, look at it.
Claim I'm stupid, claim I'm dumb.
All right, so I will.
deGrasse Tyson. Literally, I would demolish that dude. Oh, okay, my 160 IQ disagree with you. Claim I'm stupid, claim I'm dumb.
All right, so I will obviously never be debating this guy again.
We
can't debate.
I would expect somebody who has a 160 IQ
like
and could wrap rings around Neil deGrasse Tyson, will be able to meet the standards, which you've already conceded. Apparently, you say something like you don't even see why it's even necessary. If you're going to overthrow a model that has such predictive power that we utilize to send satellites to different planets, there's Voyager, there's the Mars orbiter, there's something orbiting the moon, there's the Himrari 8. You want to somehow overthrow all that? With no equations,
we got to give
no.
just respond. Because like I said, you are taking up some of your time playing clips of his own words. So we do have quite a Q&A here as well. So that could help maybe steer us in some new direction if you guys wanted to maybe move in there.
Just think about how insane that is. But Ryan, think about how insane that is, that he hasn't answered one question. So I have one simple question.
Oh, he has. He made his presentation, and you're just being a little bitch.
It's actually about the debate. He's tried to bring up everything but that and then play clips. So this is really weird, but I will just tell the audience, because there are people who actually want the truth, and there are people that just hate me and will pretend you won no matter what, and they really like when you gaslight and you do all these weird little tactics. But this is the epitome of bad faith, right? That's what you're demonstrating.
He didn't gaslight at all. That's what you do, Witsit. You gaslight. You try and convince people that the reality that they have learned is real isn't. That's what you do. You're a gaslighter.
But it is a fact that according to relativity, which is the currently accepted consensus of the heliocentric model, that there is kinematic equivalence of the Earth being the center of the universe. This is just a well-known and established fact. To quote Einstein, I've come to the conclusion that no optical experiment can actually detect the motion of the Earth, the orbital motion of Earth, though the Earth moves around the sun. He also then went on to say,
yes, the Earth moves around the sun. Einstein, you're quoting Einstein, and he's proving you wrong.
That we've established that no terrestrial experiment can actually detect the motion of the Earth. Specifically, he said that's because...
Hey, Susie McFloppa. Let me give you a wrench. Hold on. Is that it? No. Here we go.
Because of Michelson-Morley.
Ooh, that's like totally meta. It's like a picture at a picture at a picture. You're not seeing that. Anyway.
and subsequent measurements. And he said that this is well-known consensus within your position. Just to claim that I'm somehow unreliable or whatever, it doesn't matter. If I have to actually pull up special relativity and general relativity in his letters, I can do that. I will happily do that.
Yeah, I watched this on MC Tune when him and Daryl went over it. But yeah.
But what's happened is every time I bring up source,
just seeing Witsit get destroyed is like the best birthday present I could get.
sources that you claim I don't have and I just made up, you literally avoid it and just go past it like it didn't happen. So these are all little games. And I want the audience wants to know if you have proof that the Earth moves around the sun. That's why we're here. Do you have actual measurement of the claimed 66,600 mile per hour orbit of the Earth?
So just for the interest of, like I said, you don't mind sharing that stuff, it might be a good idea to move into the, like some new territory if we can. If not, then it may be better just to move into Q&A because it does seem like we're revisiting the same cycle here and we're not really moving past this. So unless, like I say, I do want to give Austin a chance if he wants to push us into some brand new territory that we haven't gotten to explore for our discussion tonight that maybe you wanted to touch on. It's totally up to you. You're on mute, Witsit.
Sorry. Okay, I'll share this real quick. This is, it's just, I don't remember the exact location of the PDF or whatever. This is one of the equations showing, actually, this is based on his Ptolemy section of the paper. He says we now surround the test body with a spherical shell at rest. So he's literally talking about the Earth in the center position. This is him breaking down the Machian principle. Here's one of the mini equations. He breaks down, there's an analogy.
Thank you, Stephen Jarvis. Shout out to Stephen. You rock, man.
It's analogous to Newton's second law of motion. He comes down here to explain, I just don't know exactly where it is. He comes down to show the exact equation using something akin to a Lorentz magnetic force. He also shows exactly the difference in Newtonian and relativistic kinematic and dynamic equivalences. This is, you claim there was no model. This is one of many. And so I will pull up another one.
Before you go ahead, let's give Daryl a chance to respond if he would like to do so.
Surely. Here's the thing with it. You said that you can get 9.8 meters per second squared without taking into account gravity and the mass of the Earth, just from a kinematic equation separately from the mass of the Earth and gravity. Can you confirm that you said that?
Yeah, you can use a kinematic equation. That I didn't say in this debate because that's not what this is about at all. But yes, of course, you can use a kinematic equation. You can use time, height, initial velocity of an object. This is well known, and you'll get.
You're saying you can do it without having to worry about gravity, without having to worry about Newton's laws.
But you don't seem to know. You don't seem to know what gravity is. For starters, secondly, you don't seem to know that 9.8 meters per second squared is just the quantified effect of the rate of fall. It isn't the claimed cause whatsoever. So that's completely irrelevant that objects fall at 9.8. You're claiming
this is irrelevant.
And this is the elephant in the room. You're still like 7 steps behind. Where I actually said if I were to.
If you can't name where a source of wind comes from, does the wind still affect you? Can it still knock you over if it's strong enough? Whether it's natural because of a change in pressure of the atmosphere, or just a big fan. If you were blindfolded, could you tell? No, you couldn't. But that would still make the wind valid, right? You don't know where it came from, but you could say it knocked you over, right? At a specific rate. What a fucking clown.
Grants you gravity, even Newtonian or Einsteinian, within both of those paradigms, if you actually understood them, which I do not believe that you do, you would know there is a
you don't
kinematic and dynamic equivalence. I then cited multiple people, including Andre Assis, a mathematics professor that we're looking at right here. And then that is relational mechanics. There's also Luka Popov, which he posed a Newtonian neo-Machian analysis of planetary motion of bodies, and that is in the European Journal of Physics. He shows the math, okay, and there are multiple other ones. So, but I don't have to make a specific claim about a model. You're claiming it's impossible. I show that's not true. So why is it that, why is it you can't just address? It seems like it's a game to you or something. Do you agree, Einstein? Okay, do you think that relativity is true?
I want to address your point. Give me a chance to address the first thing I'm supposed to address, which would include that as well. I want to actually share my pad right now, right?
Sure thing.
Let me see if I can do that.
No worries.
Healed
it's always
itself.
fun. We can launch into some new territory. So
it's got a hole in it
now. Keep in mind, you just said that we don't have to worry about gravity and Newton. We can just use a kinematic equation because the gravity G is just the effect and so on and so forth. I want to show you and everyone else how wrong you are and why I don't trust what you say about relativity and things like this. Okay, so we know from Newton's laws that everybody can see this, right? We know that F equals ma. We also know that the force of gravity equals big G m over r squared, right? So this would be the force of gravity. This would be acceleration on the other side. Now we know that these two forces are going to equal. So we would have ma g m over r squared, right? The m's would cancel because we're talking about the mass of a certain object. And then what we have here is a equals g m, which is the mass of the Earth. Since we're talking about gravity on the Earth's surface, r squared is the radius of the planet. If we input these numbers, we get 9.8. Do you concede that, or do you want me to actually type the numbers in?
Of course, that's irrelevance.
Do you concede this, or do you need me to type in the numbers and show you?
Of course,
I think I already typed in. Let me just show
There's no concession. There's no concession.
I'm leading to a point because I actually went through the numbers earlier just to make sure. But this is the equation I just put in just now. If you could see that, maybe you can't see it. 9.8 meters per second squared when you put that in. Now, and that's going to be G. Now, you said you're a math whiz, and in school you did math and you could pass the test and not have to write the answers down. So why don't you tell me how would you integrate this? What would be the proper way to integrate this?
No, dude, Ryan, why are you not moderating? Do you see that this all the guy is doing is intentionally avoiding every single aspect of the actual debate and the subject, every point that I've made. He came here in complete bad faith, has played clips of me out of context, has tried to do anything but actually have a debate, and now he's like, hey, can you tell me how to do a math equation? Do you not see how this is?
You can just say, no,
because he couldn't even get close to discussing this conversation.
I'm getting to a point, but since you said that,
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay.
No, you're not.
All right, I'll give you 15 seconds to try to.
used to get accused of cheating in my algebra.
Look what he's doing.
Because I wouldn't show my.
That's why I said that. You said you used to pass all the tests, but we showed you can't.
What does that have to do with the debate, Daryl?
You can't do it. I'm gonna keep going.
Maybe you're shit at math.
What had to do
You
with the
said you
debate,
in school
Daryl?
and you're in math whiz and you can do it, but I showed you can't. I'm going to show people how to do the integral, and I'm going to show you where kinematic equations come
Dude,
from.
I'm about to leave, Ryan. I'm just
You
going
can't do
to
it. Let me finish
Before, like I said, I think
like a
it's
child, or we're just going to sit
I'm about to leave.
here.
1 second there, Daryl. I just put him on mute, but it's yeah. So what's going on with it? What are you feeling? Do you want to
Well,
change the
you're sitting here. It's obvious what's going on. This guy is literally just being a joke at this point. He's trying to operate 100% in bad faith. So what does this have to do with the debate? Nothing. He's still playing clips of me out of context to try to get some gotcha or make me look bad about.
No, it's not out of context. It's playing the correct video clips to provide context. See, that's what he's doing.
Nothing to do with the debate. What? So I don't know why. How is this not weird, Ryan?
Well, I think if
I'm extremely patient. He's played 7 clips of me.
Let's just say by your own.
Right, which have proved that you're a hypocrite and a liar.
Own opinion,
and you don't like it.
And I'm not going to tell you exactly how I feel about it, but if it's bad optics, then that's going to play out in the long.
But the point is that I don't have to just I didn't just come here to just sit here and listen to the guy constantly play clips of me. Like
that is fair. I would ask Daryl if you can refrain from playing any more clips of Witsit. He's here now. He's going to talk to you. There's other spaces we can go and make commentary on clips of people.
Stop making Witsit feel bad. Come on, guy. When I do the when I get the multicolor printer up and running, I'll put a webcam same quality as this one. Probably buy another one of those, and that'll be the time-lapse camera, so it'll have nice like 4K images.
People have discussed, but I do think that I do think it has been tolerated to the point here. It's not. It's obviously not something that's Witsit's enamored by here. So let's just try.
Anyone that watches this and would be like, oh yeah, Daryl, get him, or Witsit, stop crying. Like they're just awesome and bad. I don't care about that. I tried to come here in good faith. I've asked the questions multiple times. Do you have actual evidence that the Earth is orbiting around the sun? Can we detect or measure it? I've consistently provided.
Right, you obfuscated around being able to back your claims. So he's showing you what a clown you are.
The evidence. You've tried to get gotchas. You've constantly played clips of me. You've constantly dealt to my questions, but asked me questions. I answer your questions. I showed you were wrong about Neptune. Showed you were wrong about Newton. Showed you were wrong about Einstein. Showed you were wrong about all of your claims, and you're not addressing the single question I have. So do you not see why that would be frustrating? You don't have any juice over me. You're not superior to me. You don't get to come and just dismiss anything I say with ad homs and then continue to try to pepper.
Oh no, he is superior to you in every single fucking way, pal. Every single way. He's smarter. He's better looking. He's more intelligent. He can educate.
Pepper me with gotcha attempts. It's just disrespectful. I've been patient and sat through it for quite a while now, so I'm not just going to continue to do it. All right. Like this is the only scenario where this guy gets to act like he can somehow denigrate me like that.
I think yeah, your request to not play clips of yourself is fair. I think it's just not coming across very well. I would ask that just as a courtesy, since it's not being appreciated on this end. Of course, we're hearing that, so I think that's just a sign of respect. So if you can explain to us, Daryl, what we have here in front of us, and then I think maybe I should go with my best instinct and move into that Q&A to try to push us into some new territory. And thank you, Witsit. Like I said, I'm sorry if you're feeling frustrated. That's definitely not what I want for you. So.
But I'm saying anyone that watches it knows.
Oh, big old sad face.
What he's doing. So there's this unspoken thing that if it's a flat earther, you can just do whatever to him, right? You can just, and that's not actually correct. I didn't have to take this debate with you, Daryl. I tried to come here and knowing it would probably be bad faith, and it's whatever. Let's keep talking about the meta.
No worries.
Obviously, we can't have the discussion about the actual evidence. He doesn't know how to address any of it. That's why he's like desperately trying to discredit me with clips of things I've said, and it's just weird.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's.
Yes, you don't like it. Yes, he is throwing your words in your face, discrediting you, and proving that you do not have any credibility.
Yeah, let's try to move, like I say, past this. If we can explain to the audience.
That you're just a shucking and jiver.
What we have here in front of us, Daryl, and then Witsit will give you a chance to respond to what he's presenting here.
Oh, print's almost done. It does a perfect circle at the top. The bottom's a circle, too.
What I've shown is Witsit is wrong. This is a kinematic equation, which is actually an integration of gravity based on Newton's laws. This is a kinematic equation, which is the integration of the first equation. I showed you wrong. When you use the kinematic equations, you're not avoiding gravity. It's not some kind of output. The reason why gravity outputs, if you find the proper time and the proper distances and the proper speed, is because it was derived from gravity in the first place. You're wrong. So I'm not going to listen to you tell me this is what your model says. This is
you dropped the mass out. Wait, did you drop mass out?
You're cutting me off now. You're cutting me off now.
You dropped your own
I'm not gonna
dynamic
listen to you
claim
when you
cause
tell
out of
me-
your equation.
The reason
Prove
why
my
I'm not gonna
point.
listen to you when you tell me this is what relativity does, and this is what your model says, and you can't even understand this basic equation. You don't even know that this is where the kinematic equations come from, and I'm gonna believe you understand the equations in that paper you showed me? No. And that's all I have to say.
Cool. Now I get to destroy you. So literally what you did was show and prove my point, which I already said, that literally Newtonian dynamic equations are basically reverse engineered from.
Yes, everything that you say proves him right. There we go. It's done. Let me see. It's got a process. Wait, is that it? Oh, that's from this morning. Yeah, it's got a process. Oh, wait. Why is it just giving me the frames? Oh, maybe it'll, yeah, maybe it has the process. Anyway, that was the print. I mean, it's pretty amazing. If I want to make this bigger, I can. I can make it taller. I can make it skinnier. I can make it like flattened out. You can do a lot of stuff with this. I can take it and cut it like wherever I want to. I can make it like a bowl. Oops. So I'd have like a serving dish for candy. And I can get rid of that piece. So that right there would take 39 minutes. So you'd have a nice little bowl for candy or something. But yeah, and I can take what I can do. I could take it and like take this piece and move it down. Then move this piece over it. And then I could move this up just a little bit. And merge it. And pick it up. And I just made something new. Kind of crude. But I could 3D print that. So, yeah. So I've made something different out of another object in a matter of seconds. And I could print it. It's like it's modeling and 3D printing is fucking amazing. It really is. You can take an idea, model it, send it to the printer, and have it printed within hours. A prototype that would otherwise take a company like a month to do, right? And then if it looks good in filament, you could do it in resin, or you can print it in steel or metal, bronze, copper, steel, titanium, right? There's a site called PCBWay. They started out just manufacturing printed circuit boards for people, doing it with the machinery that professionals use. And then he got into 3D printing. So you can take like the faceplate of my printer, my print head that I'm building for the other printer. I could have that printed. It costs about $500, but I could have it printed in titanium. I'd be the only person on Earth with a titanium tool head faceplate. And for good reason. No one's going to spend $450, $500 on a goddamn faceplate for a printer. But it's like, you could do that. I mean, I could have the whole thing injection molded. It costs a little money, but yeah, it'd look very nice. But it's an awesome technology. Now they have a thing where they can fuse glass. They can basically blow glass in microstructures, like 1 millimeter across, like tubes, glass tubes. Okay. See if I can pop this off the plate. There it comes. But here it is. Hole and everything. Let me make me bigger. Yeah. See, here's the hole. It just, oh, there's two. Just at that point, it skipped here. I hope you can see that. Yeah. See, it skipped. And then it had nothing to build on because there was a gap. So it just, until it changed the pattern and healed itself, basically was able to lay down enough filament to bridge it. Because this is only like 0.12 millimeters thick, this wall. So it couldn't pump out a lot of filament at one time. But yeah. And if I had bad layer adhesion, I could basically take the end of it and then pull it apart in one long string. And then it happened again. So if I print this thicker, like 0.24, it would probably not do that. But this is it's just a very cool design. I mean, it twists like this, plus it's got these like muscles that twist the opposite way. It's just, I think it's fractal, but maybe it's not fractal. It might just be a mathematical pattern. But yeah, it's very cool. And that'll sit on the desk. It's real light. I mean, it's extremely light. So I may have to like put some like steel shot at the bottom of it and then pour epoxy in, give it a little weight. But yeah, that'll hold pencils or pens or paintbrushes or whatever. Focus back. Is that better? Still a little out of focus. Yeah, that's a little better. I think that's good. Yeah, I guess I have a few wrinkles. I'd pass for 50 if I shave. 45 was probably a stretch. But I think I'd pass for 50 at least. But I don't look 62. I don't feel 62. I don't feel tardy. And this thing is way behind. But yeah, that's the, let's see if it's processed yet. Yeah, here we go. Oh, very cool. Huh. Very cool. I might change it to take a picture every 10 seconds, just so it'll be longer. I could do that. How do I see settings? Time lapse. Every 30. I'll do every 5. See, that was 6 seconds long, and it took about an hour, or about an hour and a half. So it'd be a 3-hour print would be, let's say, an hour, 2 hours every 10 seconds. I'll do 5. What render settings are we doing? 30 FPS. Duplicate last 5 frames. Generate thumbnail. Variable FPS. See, I can do layer. I can have it take a picture every layer. I could try that. And then I could have it park the head out of the way. Then it'd do a layer, park the head, take a picture. Then it keeps printing. Park the head, just so the head in the way, and it just, you get a true growth layer by layer in a time lapse. I do layer macro. If I park head, no. I'll just do layer. I have to save it. Or does it save automatically? Okay. And if you ever get this printer, the Cheedy Tech X-Max 3, do not check for updates. Do not update anything here, because all the firmware on this printer is specifically designed for this printer, and it's custom. You will not be able to print anything. You will basically brick it until you install the original operating system. So yeah, I learned that the hard way. And it has a warning in the manual that tells you not to do that, which I didn't read. I mean, I read some of it, but I didn't read the important part in that situation. But anyway, this has been a oh, right on. This has been my birthday stream, and I hope you enjoyed it. So I wonder if and he still hasn't unblocked me on his channel. I mean, he's a fucking coward. So fucking SSUM asking stupid fucking questions. Well, how would you know something if you didn't know about it? What the fuck are you talking about, man? I mean, if nobody told you that the Earth is moving and curved, how would you know? Well, you investigate. You put it through the scientific method, which is what no flat earther's ever done. So tomorrow, I'll watch his stream from the point that they get kicked off to see what they have to say about it. So, but yeah, I gave him 4 chances. Present your evidence. None of this avoiding, none of this fucking reversal of burden of proof bullshit. Present your evidence. And he couldn't. He absolutely couldn't. And he knows it. And he's trying to call me a coward for saying you're gone if you don't do this? No, man, it's on you. You know, there's laws. If you go faster than the speed limit, you'll go to jail or get a ticket. Those are the stipulations. Those are the conditions. If you do this, you get a ticket. You get penalized. If you don't present your evidence, you're out of here. I gave you 4 chances, man. 4. Yeah, he doesn't have any evidence, and he knows it. That's why he has to obfuscate and ask questions and guide people. I'm trying to guide you through this. Fuck off, you ignorant little toad. Trying to guide me. No, we're still watching this. Shit.
Kepler, and he just placed the M inside of it, placed the mass. You just showed that you removed it. You removed your own dynamic claim, showing that it actually boils down to simply a kinematics, which is just seeing how things move and based on their periodicity. Right.
Fuck, I forgot we were right in the middle of this. Shit.
Out the ratio, not the claimed cause of gravity. You proved my point.
I'm really
right
high.
There. You proved my point, and I will now show what I was actually talking about, which is a kinematic equation showing how you can easily get the 9.
Don't anybody go away. Everybody stick around. I'm sorry.
8 meters per second squared, and you don't need anything to do with gravity that you believe in. So here's a simplified kinematic equation when the initial velocity is 0. So you have height equals 1/2 at2, solving for acceleration, a equals 2h over t squared. Simple values, example 1. Here you go. You have 10 meters, 1.43 seconds using the equation to solve for a. You get 9.78 meters per second squared. This is a simple kinematic equation. So objectively, you can get 9.8 meters per second squared based, because that's just an effect. It's just how fast things typically fall. Okay, no one's disputing that. We're disputing the claimed cause. Your own equation showed that you actually had to remove the dynamic.
Right, and the Cavendish experiment confirms that.
Dynamic cause, which is supposedly mass, out of the equation. How does that help you?
All you've done with it. Let me share my screen so I can. I mean, it's amazing that you're still harping on this after I already showed that you're wrong. All you've done is you've taken this kinematic equation that I just showed that it directly comes from Newton's laws. You just took this kinematic equation, and what happens is if you pick a position where it's not moving, so velocity is 0, you put a 0 for velocity, and that goes away. And let's say the reference point that you pick, you call that point 0. So that becomes 0. And then you get the thing that you just had, which was h equals 1/2, and it just had an a instead of g. See, and I forgot to put my square there. Square.
I like this gradient. It's not black and then green. It has a little. The green is real dark near the black, and the black is sort of green. It sort of fades with that much of an area. But with the Enraged Rabbit, I could do black, dark gray, green, or gray, then green, like dark green, and then this color green. And instead of a wipe tower, or a purge tower, where it purges all the color until you get that new color, I could just have it print. So it will like be a gradient for each time it does it. That would be cool. Sorry.
All this is an integral of gravity. So the thing that you think is some kind of separate kinematic equation that's not dealing with gravity, this is what you're using ignorantly without knowing what you're doing. So of course I'm not going to listen to you when you tell me something else is I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that you think you can overthrow heliocentrism when you don't even realize, you didn't even recognize that this is the equation that you were using.
Dude, that's my whole argument, Daryl. So you don't get it. This is embarrassing, but I'm going to help you here. Okay, you just had to remove the
I'm going to help you here. Yeah. It's embarrassing for you, dude.
Supposed dynamic cause from your own equation, meaning all you're left with is kinematics. That's the whole point. Kinematics is just how objects move in relation to others. For example, quantifying how fast something falls. That has nothing to do with the supposed cause being mass. So you thought you had some gotcha that you could turn that equation into a kinematic equation, and literally that was my point. That completely backfired, which shows that you actually have to cancel out the claimed cause, mass, and it just results in a kinematic equation. And that's literally what my whole point was. And all of this is a red herring and a deflection away from the actual point, which is that you can't even provide any type of evidence of actual measurement of the Earth orbiting the sun whatsoever. You didn't acknowledge that parallax and stellar aberration and retrograde, which you all invoked, are not in any way exclusive to heliocentrism. There's a kinematic equivalence. You didn't address that I showed the dynamic equivalence with multiple equations. You didn't address that even Newton said that using gravity, his gravity, that it could actually be in the center. You didn't address what Einstein actually said. You didn't address Michelson-Morley and the error.
So here's a question: Has Whitsitt become a not flat earther, a non-flat earther? Oh, thanks, Rachie. Oh yeah, yeah. Is he now a geocentrist? Because that's not flat Earth at all.
Margin, which I predicted in the opener, you wouldn't even get close to touching. So you have done nothing but try to get a gotcha. Your big gotcha right there completely backfired. It showed that you had to remove and cancel out your own claimed dynamic mechanism, which is mass, to just end up getting the kinematics. Which, of course, if you knew how it was created, you would know that's, of course, what's going to happen, because that's what Newton did to Kepler's kinematics, and then just threw an M in there and said, I think it must be God doing it.
Let's pass the ball.
I actually have the equations from my actual book right here. So these are the kinematic equations. If you get this book, Physics for Scientists and Engineers, you'll see that the kinematic equations I have are the same thing here. I'll go back to my screen. I was rushing, so I forgot to write a 2 there. But going back to my, so take a look at those equations. If you go to Physics for Scientists and Engineers, those are the kinematic equations. That's what they're called. If you look at the 216, that's the, and I'll actually write the numbers next to the ones on my page when we go back. I'll write 216 by the 216 one, and I'll write 213 by the 213 one. So let me stop sharing my screen on my laptop, on my laptop, and go back to my pad. And you can see that these are the kinematic equations that you'll find on any online site, including the one that he pulled up himself. He just put 0 in for velocity. You can see that these are the same equations. 213 was the first kinematic equation, and 216 was the second. If you actually put this in any calculator that knows how to do integrals, since Witzig wasn't able to, and you actually take the integral of these things, you'll see that that's what you get. You're wrong.
You literally prove my point again, which is that your claimed support for the alleged dynamic claim. I'm starting to think you don't know what dynamic and kinematic means and what the difference.
I mean, what a fucking narcissist. Oh, you proved my point again. No, he didn't, dude. Hi. Well, come here. Hey, come up here. Come on. Monkey. He's got to rub his face on everything. Come here. Come up here. Jump. There you go. There you go. Yeah, say hello to everybody. Right there. No. Hello. This is Monkey. I don't show him enough. I used to stream on my bed, and Monkey'd walk around on the bed, and if a flat earther said something stupid, he'd get the monkey butt. He'd get the monkey butthole. Anyway, that's Monkey.
Well, you're claiming a dynamic will cause mass attracting massive force. That's archaic in your own paradigm anyway. You had to cancel out the actual causal mechanism of your dynamic claim, and then you end up just being left with a kinematic equation, which was my entire point. Yet your point.
Yeah, I'll just claim he's a he used to be a geocentrist, or he's still a geocentrist or some shit.
Point was actually invoking that alleged dynamic causal mechanism to prove your position, yet you showed math that literally eliminated it and proved my point. And again, let's see if you can actually answer this question. Do you have any, or do you concede that within your paradigm, it is...
Concede. See, he requires a concession whenever someone else can't answer every question he has, but he can't answer any questions himself, and he won't concede to anything. Even when proven wrong,
is admitted that you could never actually detect, measure, and verify via direct measurement that the Earth orbits the sun from the Earth. That you can never do it. It's never been done.
Right. So I'll address all of those in order. First of all, if you take a feather and a bowling ball and put them in a vacuum chamber, I'm sure you know that they fall at the same pace. And you can see that they fall at the same pace.
Relatively speaking, there's not really that many times that's been done, but it's pretty close, yeah.
Okay, that's why mass cancels in the equation, because everything falls at the same pace in the gravitational field. Therefore, that's where the kinematic equations come from. Secondly, I've already shown that you're a shucker and driver. You can't understand basic integration. You didn't understand that the kinematic equations were actually integrations of Newton's laws. So I'm not going to believe you when you tell me this is what your model says. Done. I'm ready for question and answer.
I think it would be.
Okay, let me just rebut that.
Right quick, if you don't mind there, Austin.
So, dude, you have it backwards. You're saying I didn't know that one came from the other. That was my whole point. I said it very clearly. I hope you watch this back, and I hope that the audience caught it. I said that even in its origin, Newton simply took Kepler's kinematic equations, which are just looking at how things move in the sky and their periodicity, and then actually mapping out the ratio of motion, kinematics. He took that and then just replaced a variable with m. He just added m into the kinematics. That's why it just cancels out and you're left with kinematics, because that's fundamentally all that it actually is kinematics, which means it doesn't in any way verify any dynamic claim. To even get the actual solution, you have to remove the dynamic claim, which is mass, which is the supposed causal mechanism. And I'll just tell the audience, since he won't answer it, it is objectively the case that due to Michelson-Morley, Dayton-Miller, and subsequent replications, that within the current heliocentric model, it is conceded, and in fact fundamental, that you can never actually detect or measure the Earth moving around the Earth, or the Earth moving around the sun, because of relativity, and specifically that time slows down and distances contract. Meaning they have no evidence, it's unfalsifiable, begging the question, and they can't actually verify their own claim.
All right. Well, thank you so much to both of our speakers, Daryl and Witzig, for being here. A couple people are upset in the live chat that I seem to come off as a kind person. Oh, it's so offensive to some. But honestly, my job here is to try to keep it real, essentially, and give you an experience of what it would be like to have these two people in a room. But if somebody makes a request and they ask something of me specifically, that is why I'm here. So don't kid yourself in the live audience with your hero worship tonight. LJ, why can't this is going into Q&A? LJ is usual here with these types of conversations. So he says, why can't we isolate/measure or control gravity? It's for you, Daryl.
So why can't we what?
He says, why can't we isolate, measure, and control gravity?
I guess I would need him to provide the evidence that we can't do that. That's contrary to my experience as a budding physicist. So let him, maybe in his next chat he could present the evidence or reference to whatever evidence that shows we can't do that.
Any thoughts on the other side before we move on? Nope, not feeling it. All right, no worries there. What's it?
Sorry, no, you can't actually do it whatsoever. Typically, he didn't even know
Yeah, you measure it with a gravimeter.
He's invoking the archaic mass tracking mass anyway. But the answer is no, literally. The claim is, oh, we need it, so it must be there. And every time that they make one up, it doesn't work, and then they just shuck and jive to another one. So the answer is no, of course. You cannot actually verify isolate it because it doesn't actually exist as is claimed.
All right, closing thoughts over there, Daryl.
Is that all I need to say?
Do you have any closing thoughts on
Just nuh-uh.
this one before we
Oh, no, I said all I need to say.
All
I'm
right,
good.
no worries. Zihoe is coming in and says, how come I can let go of a helium balloon and it doesn't get sucked down to Earth due to gravity? Is it gravity proof?
Okay, well, I mean, that sounds like a reasonable enough question, I guess. So basically we have something called buoyancy, where the gravity is pulling down on the helium and it's pulling down on the surrounding air. But basically the surrounding air sort of bunches down and pushes the balloon up. So ironically, buoyancy is only happening because of gravity. So can't say I'm an expert on buoyancy. That's not really my focus, but that's my general understanding. But just go get like a physics book. Don't believe what truckers and drivers tell you about that. Go get a physics book and learn about buoyancy. But again, that's not my specialty, but that's my rough answer.
Yep.
All right, well, let's see here.
Good answer.
Yeah, any thoughts on the other side before we move on there, Austin?
No, I mean, everything's intrinsically electric, dude. Their whole belief is just a fairy tale.
Oh, intrinsically
You said, no,
electric.
you said something, but I'm going to carry on anyway. All right,
Touché.
Heracles says, Witsit, explain how cosmic background and so
Etherically displaced.
or CMB readings confirm geocentrism.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
Citizen
according to
Nine.
the current Big Bang cosmology,
Hey, Citizen 9.
the energy distribution should have been homogeneous, evenly distributed, and it should have been anisotropic, so it had no preferred direction. It's just all evenly distributed. And of course, they say there's no center, but everything started in a singularity, whatever. Long story short, they actually did see that it was inhomogeneous and anisotropic. It should have, or isotropic. And so it had a preferred direction, and coincidentally, that preferred direction directly correlated to the Earth. Specifically, the part that was no longer smooth and homogeneous was at a 23.4 degree axis.
I mean, the cosmic microwave background radiation of what? The firmament? No, it's of space, dude. Like way deep space. Which completely destroys flat Earth.
Which they claim is the Earth tilted as it's wobbling and rotating. But that relationship was seen far beyond the alleged local scale of the quote-unquote solar system, proving it couldn't be the Earth tilted, because if you think about it,
Quote-unquote solar system.
if you're tilted on the Earth and you're looking into space, sure, it would make the sun look like it's at a certain angle, right, 'cause it's close to you. As you zoom way out and everything's moving on its own with its own quote-unquote gravity, the little tilt of the Earth wouldn't affect the energy distribution you see, but it did. Still, there's never been even an academic answer for that, other than it must be incorrect.
All right, any thoughts on the other side there, Daryl, before we move on?
Oh, nope, we can keep going.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you to both of our speakers for jumping into the Q&A and answering our audience's questions. So yes, right now.
I mean, everything that he doesn't like, he does quote-unquote gravity, quote-unquote solar system.
We are answering your questions live on Modern Day Debate. If you have a question, get it into a super chat. We have lots of them to go, so it's ready for speakers to keep us moving along here. If you haven't already, hit the smash the like button. If I said it backwards, it would be really awkward, actually. I realized that. So yeah, smash the like button if you haven't already. LJ asks another question. Thank you so much, LJ. If you dig straight down.
I might roll another joint because it's my birthday. I normally just have one a day. I just nurse one. But yeah, I needed a lot of weed to have that fucking discussion because I knew they'd just be fucking silly. I knew they'd avoid the subject, wouldn't be able to present. I knew it was coming. I mean, I absolutely knew that they were just going to come on and fucking waste my time. That's why I didn't debate fucking SSUM. Because I knew he'd just waste my fucking time. And he's a fucking racist too, so I didn't want to even fucking talk to him. See, I'm a free man too, right? Just like every sovereign citizen, I'm a free man. I have the freedom to choose who I fucking give my time to, and I will not give it to a racist piece of shit. So, change your ways, and then maybe we'll talk. That's all I have to say about that.
Will you come out upside down?
That's actually a pretty interesting question. In my classical dynamics class, we had to actually solve a problem where we imagined that there was a object that we dropped through the center of the Earth and came out the other side. And the way it works is, as you fall through the center of the Earth, the way gravity works is you'll be pretty much attracted by only the mass that's within the center of a sphere, starting at the radius you're at. So the effective gravity will be less and less and less. And as you get through the center of the Earth, the center would then be where you left from. So gravity would be pulling from the other direction. So technically, if you did not spin yourself, if you didn't like do a somersault while you were falling, you would come out feet first, but gravity would still be pulling you the other way. And what we found was that if you did that, you would actually, it ends up being an analog of simple harmonic motion. So if you was able to drill a hole through the center of the Earth and drop something in there, it'll just go back and forth like a pendulum. So yeah.
All right, go ahead and respond if you'd like there, Austin.
No, I mean, no. The Earth's not a sphere, so no.
Not feeling it? All right. Let's carry on. I will let our audience know as well that I'm going to close the poll right quick. We had 895 votes. Actually, all right, I'll leave it for 5. All right, let's try to get a nice clean 900 votes. Right now we're sitting at 42% are saying the Earth sure is the center of the universe. 50% is saying not a chance. And then 8% of you said, I don't know most things. These are the people that do miss their mouth with a fork. So let's carry on, and I'll close that shortly. Once I close it, though, if we can get up to, well, let's say 400 likes, since we can get so many votes on our poll, maybe I'll open up a really spicy poll for you guys to comment on. All right, let's carry on with our Q&A. Thanks again to our speakers and the live chat for this lively discussion. All right, a True Creation says, when will the axis of evil be addressed? What are you talking about? What's going on here?
Yes, the axis of evil. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's for you, right? But again, the axis of evil was based on the cosmic microwave background, showing that it actually was inhomogeneous, isotropic distribution that the preferred direction was the Earth in. Again, you'll never get any rebuttal to the non-locality of the 23.4 degree tilt because it can't be explained based on their model. It actually disproves it fundamentally. But the axis of evil is basically the correlation to the Earth and the actual distribution of
Yeah, science proves science wrong.
energy that was unexpected. And then it was like, oh,
the heliocentric model proves the heliocentric model wrong.
It must be a mistake. And then they went and did it again. Oh, it must be a mistake. And they went and did it again. And like, oh, it must be a mistake. So yeah, whatever. It's kind of interesting that they called it axis of evil and they claim to be scientists. And it was called that because it went in the face of the Copernican principle or heliocentric model.
All right. LJ asks, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but he says, Daryl, why is your background CGI and not a real photo? Now, if I know anything about LJ, he may be making a commentary on some of his previous comments to say that they're not taking real photos of certain events. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that that's probably where you're going. But if you want to tell people what's in the background, you go for it.
I've had that picture for so long. I don't even remember if it's a real picture or not. I guess I'll just operate from the. You saying he's trying to say that all the pictures are fake? I mean, what is it?
Well, I will say I think LJ has brought that up in the past, so I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt that he's
okay.
probably
So if you remember, Ryan, the last time I was on here, somebody sent such a question. Do you remember my response to that person?
I don't remember.
Ryan, can I be right back in just a second? Like, say, can you read the next one to him?
Yeah.
Just a couple minutes.
Absolutely, buddy. Don't worry. Take a break if you need to. But I do not remember your response. I'm so sorry, Daryl.
No, go ahead. And I'll tell you why you don't remember. I know why. What I said was, I've heard people say that the pictures are fake, but I've never seen anyone give evidence. So I said, this is what you can do. Contact MDD with your evidence that the pictures are fake. Let them know, and I'll come on and we'll talk about it. Let me ask you, how many people did that?
I don't think the best idea would be to disclose what's going on in the emails of Modern Day Debate. Or my own emails, but there's a lot of stuff going on. You might be surprised, honestly, some of the emails we do get from certain individuals. But whether you would find certain people compelling or not is going to be a different question when we get them here. That's kind of the whole point, is we try to find people that aren't going to necessarily agree on these issues. So I'm going to push into just some quick housekeeping and just say, hello, everybody, and welcome to Modern Day Debate. We welcome you all here. We hope you're having fun. I hope so anyways. We are a neutral space hosting debates on science, politics, religion, you name it. We hope you feel welcome once again. And we're in our Q&A right now. I'm going to close this poll. We're closing in on 941. You guys are really just messing with how I wanted to get that on an even number. Let's close out the poll. Let's see, 942 votes. We got 50% say it's not a chance that it's in the center. 42% say it sure is. And then 7% say, I don't know most things. So if we can get up to, did I say 400 before? Let's say 500 likes. Since there's almost 1,000 people participating in the poll, we'll do a really silly poll to close this out and have some fun with it. So let's carry on. If you wanted to step out as well, Daryl, grab yourself a drink. I feel like I missed my courtesy to offer you guys a break. So feel free if you need to step out for any reason.
By the way, not a chance is a crazy position. I guess that was the only option, but because the current model literally says that you have to agree that there's a chance, it's called relativity. So like literally relativity's fundamental claim is that all motion's relative. You can never tell what is moving. So the Earth moving around the sun, the sun moving around the Earth is equivalent.
I didn't give them any options.
No, I know. I'm just pointing it out for the audience.
But yeah, I did make sure that you were either falling on either side of that fence, I think, on that, or the, like I say, I don't know most things. We had, 7% for that. So let's carry on. Smash the like button if you know how, and if you don't know how, then I can't help you at this point. So commercial sound and video says, Daryl is level curved.
Well, I can't say I'm an expert on that. I can say I've heard, I've seen people show books of, like surveying books where, in definitions where they know that the level is, congruent with the Earth's surface. So level would be level with the Earth's surface at any point, I guess you can say, which, because the Earth is a sphere, it would be curved in that sense. So you're talking about like shape of Earth type stuff.
Any response on the other side? You want to carry on?
Oh, you're good.
All right, Mr. Spencer says, which strain of weed should I smoke for this Witsit guy to make any sense? Well, aren't you making friends tonight, Mr. Spencer? You're probably not making friends, but we appreciate your...
You know what I find super funny, bro, is that like everything I've said in this debate is literally a fact, and it's just been me having to teach the other side what their own belief is, and never was any of the information directly engaged with. And for example, like right then someone in the chat's like, that's not what relativity says.
Oh,
I basically just quoted Einstein verbatim.
This guy.
Like verbatim, explaining like he said that the debate back in the day between...
Listen to this fucker.
Copernicus and Ptolemy, which is the idea that the Earth is around the sun or that the Earth is in the center, would have been quite meaningless because the two statements, the sun moves around the Earth, the Earth moves around the sun, are equally valid. They're nothing more than a coordinate system preference. That's basically a verbatim quote from Einstein. If you even understand the fundamentals of what relativity means, then you would know that. I find it all very, very interesting.
Well, I was going to say, Austin, all they wanted to know was whether they should have sativa or indica. I always recommend sativa if you want to stay awake for a
But
debate.
yeah, but I'm saying it was like a jab that I don't make sense. But I'm saying if what I said in this debate didn't make sense, then you've yet to even come aware of the fact that your own belief doesn't make sense.
Yeah, whatever you're smoking is not helping you understand, I think is what Austin's trying to say. So let's just carry on. I'm just making jokes. Don't worry about it. Alejandro Valhero says, so has Witless... Stop that.
It's fine, bro.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's just how they put it. Thanks, Alejandro. You guys aren't making friends tonight.
I'll be right back.
Witsit finally admitted the globe is an Earth. After all, an infinite plane, it can't be geocentric by definition.
Okay, so the globe is an Earth. That was the question.
I feel bad for saying
yeah.
that. I'm so sorry. The first part.
Yeah, but this conversation has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. This is about if the Earth is in the center or not. It isn't exclusive to any shape. And what always happens is people have to start trying to take in random gotcha jabs at flat Earth, which is not even a proper way to debate flat Earth. You know, they don't even understand that like falsifications, independent replacement, positive claims have the burden of proof. So some random like how's the whole universe work? Gotcha, stupid flat Earth, deflection away from. Anyway, point is not only is that improper in debating flat Earth, it is totally irrelevant to this. And what I found is almost no one that goes against this side can actually separate the two and have an intellectually honest discussion about if the Earth is moving or not. And I'll take that time to plug. You should watch The Principle, and you should watch the documentary Heliosorcery. And at the least, you should be informed of your position. You may be surprised where it came from and what exactly it is. Okay, cool.
Cool. Yeah. If you had any thoughts over there, Daryl, or we can just, like I say, press on from here.
Yeah, we keep going.
All right. Thank you for your super chat there, Alejandro. And anybody else who puts in a super chat, we really appreciate it. We have the BaitCon coming up here. Once again, it's going to be a live in-person event. We're going to be in New Jersey this time, so you're not going to want to miss that. Just keep an eye out for when we put up those notifications for the events. So Kango44 says, Witsit, we have put telescopes at Lagrange points in space. That means the Earth is not at the center of the universe. Please, 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 please read a book, they say.
Totally irrelevant. First of all, I don't believe all the claims of governmental agencies and where they put things, but even if they did, it isn't exclusive to heliocentrism. This shows another fundamental lack of understanding of what you believe. And they don't even use it's not actually the heliocentric model. It's the barycentric model, right? It's the barycentric. And they never use those equations for almost anything. And then someone will go find this one little like transform, and they'll be like, oh, see, they did change it to it at the last minute. And there's one, it's like, okay, they used ECF, geocentric coordinates for all of it. Most people don't even know the heliocentric model is just an ignorant term. It's not even a real thing anymore, but anyway, no, that isn't exclusive. It's very simple. Kinematic equivalence. And I don't just like believe stories from the government. Let's call it like it is. Like we didn't go to the moon. The government constantly lies. You may believe that they don't. Even if you think that their stories are true about going to space, none of it would prove that the Earth is orbiting the sun, and you would know that if you understood relativity.
All right, chance to rebut there, Daryl, before we move on.
I think I've shown that it's quite dubious to think that Witsit understands relativity. That's my only response.
All right, last word over there, Austin, before we carry
No,
on.
I think it's funny that like, yeah, he can't engage with any of the actual points. His whole entire tactic here was to try to discredit me with random, like out of context, like, okay, well, that's poisoning the well, ad homs, stereotype, genetic fallacies, credential spout. Like these are terribly fallacious and irrelevant. Predominantly ad homs, of course, right? So I
noticed that when I quote you, then it's out of context. But when you quote Einstein, for some reason, it's a verbatim quote. That's called shucking and driving because it's not consistent according to you.
Okay,
that's incorrect because let me explain the difference here. I didn't cherry pick any of Einstein because if you read it in context, it will mean exactly what it is I invoked it to mean and to say. Cherry picking is when you take it out of context and present it as meaning something that it doesn't. That's exactly what you did. You took it out of context and made multiple straw man arguments, and I corrected them. You just avoided them and moved on to your next little clip. But it doesn't matter. Everyone can go research it themselves. You never even clarified your position. You never even clarified your position if you were disagreeing or agreeing with the stuff I said. You just said I shouldn't be believed, and I haven't shown it yet. It's like, do you disagree that Einstein said that there's a kinematic equivalence with geocentrism? Do you disagree that he said that you can never actually detect it with an optical experiment or terrestrial experiment? You're scared to even engage with the point at all and articulate disagreement or agreement. It's literally your only tactic is to try to take shots at me, appeal to emotion, and discredit me personally, and that's a pretty low bar, So I encourage you to do better.
Trying to respond to a quote you took out of context and math and science you don't understand and trying to say is mine. So yeah.
Give one specific example of me taking someone out of context.
All of them, just like how you said I took yours out of context. Right?
Give one specific example.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. All of them, right? That's the way.
All of them. You should definitely be able to name one.
If somebody makes a quote that you don't agree with, it's out of context, right? So that means all of yours is out of context, right?
So if all of them that I've ever invoked are out of context, you should definitely be able to name one.
All of them.
All right,
let me say something. Right now, this is important because this dude disrespected me for an hour and I sat here. I'm going to point this out. This is important. Like, this is like when people say word salad. And I articulate something with substance specificity. I maybe speed it up a bit. It's over their heads. They call it word salad. I'm like, can you name specifically what I said that's word salad? They say everything you ever say. And they can never name something because they know if they do, we then get to go through the phrase and show how it's just that they have in-depth vocabulary skills. Same thing here. He will not invoke any specific quote I brought up tonight, right? Because he knows he's going to get completely embarrassed if he actually did that. So these are really dishonest tactics.
You're just giving me flashbacks to that time when we had the speaker that was eating lettuce on screen.
That's like the new thing. Salad dressing and lettuce. I'm thinking about starting I'm going to launch a salad dressing. Ryan, it's going to be Witsit word salad dressing.
Oh yeah, is it going to be spicy or is it just going to be like?
Maybe have some variations. Yeah, I like a little kick, all organic.
All right. The Science of Science says, I guess Daryl has showed up and decided not to debate the subject of the debate. So the Science of Science doesn't seem too impressed with the I guess how this unfolded. So yeah, if you want to talk to Science of Science, go for it.
Certainly. At least he's consistent with Witsit's approach where I had to give my presentation, and then he said answer the question, and I went through the presentation again. My whole presentation was the evidence that the Earth revolves around the sun and that the planets revolve around the sun, just like how the stars go around the center of the galaxy, and so on and so forth. So if it is not clear to you, perhaps pick up a physics book and see if you can work through it. Do some experiments with mass and confirm that gravity is a thing like we have to do to get a physics degree. So I've already tested gravity and know that it works. So just maybe look into it. I mean, you sound sincere, so just look into it.
All right, any thoughts
So
on
I
this?
directly refuted the claim that gravity proves or disproves geocentrism by granting gravity, whether it be Newton or Einstein, and showing that with either of them, it doesn't disprove geocentrism. You didn't provide any exclusive evidence that the Earth moves around the sun. And the question I actually asked was, do you concede you can't physically measure and detect it like your paradigm claims? And you refused to engage with that. So you didn't provide any exclusive evidence whatsoever. And you also had to correct you on Newton. You didn't even know he said the Earth could be geocentric. You didn't know he said the universe could be geocentric. You invoked a guy that made my point in your opener.
All right, final thoughts there, Daryl.
Yeah, well, again, I addressed all that in my opening, and I'm not going to believe what you tell me my model is. I'm not going to believe what you tell me Newton, whoever said. I've already showed checking driving, not understanding integration, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
You're up and running.
Is it up? Okay, so here's Newton saying it, since, in order for the Earth to be at rest in the center of the system of the sun, planets, and comets, there's required both universal gravity and another force in addition that acts on all bodies equally according to the quantity of matter in each of them and is equal and opposite to the accelerative gravity with which the Earth tends to the sun. And thus, celestial bodies can move around the Earth at rest, as in the Tychonic system. That's Isaac Newton and Principia Proposition 43, Theorem 22, which was removed from final publication and later found and published by a university.
Do you acknowledge then that all the quotes I put out for you were in context and appropriate?
What's up? What could be out of context about this quote?
No. You can see then that all the clips I played of you are in context and appropriate.
They were out. You were misrepresenting my question.
Okay, so I'm not going to accept your quotes. Next question.
All right, well,
okay, audience sees he's literally just dismissing Newton's own words in his Principia, which is where he proposed gravity.
All right. Well, let's end the screen share. We're going to move into the next question. I'm ready when you're ready to end it there. All right. Well, thank you to both of our speakers. It seems like we've managed to make a bit of a full circle on the overall tone of our debate, and that's kind of nice, right? You got to appreciate that. So, Truthful Purpose says the globies are drowning. Lol. All right. Well, thank you, Truthful Purpose. We appreciate you helping us out there. Once again, we have a live event coming up, so we need all the help we can get, and we appreciate everybody. Zehoe says it's honestly weird. You have a whole Widget soundboard to play out of context clips to try to dig up some weird baits that's irrelevant to heliocentrism.
Well, I mean, of course, I didn't play all the ones I have. I have even more than that. One of them I played was from the Florida Menu, I recall. One of them was from Witsit's Horizon School and Globers. One was from a Discord that streams their stream, so I can get you that link. One was from the Veritas Flatline. So if you check out the Veritas Flatline, if you check out his debate with Professor Dave, if you check out his debate on the quartering with, I don't remember that guy's name, you'll see that all the quotes I played are his quotes that mean what I presented them to mean. And I'll find the link now for the, I don't know if you want me to put the link in chat, but I could put the link for the Discord one, since that might not be as easy to find. You'll be able to see all the quotes I played are on point and mean what he says. But again, they prove him to be wrong. He has to stick to his own words. And so I knew he was going to change his words, so that's why I brought the quotes to show. I even brought the quote where he was 100%. If you look at the Professor Dave debate, he was clearly saying gravity is not a part of it. I showed him wrong, and he tried to shuck and drive on that too. So, so there you go.
Okay. You seem to miss the question, but what he pointed out was that it was weird that you had a whole soundboard of clips to play of me out of context, and none of them had anything to do with the actual subject of heliocentrism, and used as a tactic to actually avoid it. But anyway, I encourage everyone to go listen to the quotes. It's cool. I gave the true context of all of them. It wasn't really, you can listen to them and understand what I'm saying. It was that you came in to just make a whole different version of what I'm saying and strawmanned it, but it's okay, because what you got to do was expose that you're intentionally misrepresenting what I say, and that's intellectually dishonest, and that shows the weakness of your hand.
All right. Well, yeah, speaking of weakness of hand, I haven't seen that upsurge in hitting the like button. So if you haven't already, hit the smash button. If you're not going to take a shower and brush your teeth, like, our like button's the only thing you're smashing tonight, so you may as well go ahead and hit it. All right, let's carry on. Esteban Ilbaca says, the current eclipse prediction actually work centuries in advance, same as old cycles. Using new data is just to improve accuracy to the millisecond. We predict selenilians. When's the next one using flat Earth?
So we've already shown exactly how you can transform it using flat Earth. And of course, the important part here, as is pertinent to this discussion, is that it literally uses a geocentric model. Literally, the predictions use a geocentric model. And you said that you can, we just try to get it down to the millisecond. It's like, no, you're patently wrong, okay? And all astronomers know that leading up to right when the eclipse is, you start making specific measurements of the moon, for example, to know when and where it'll actually be. Yeah, we knew down to the day thousands of years ago, and then we did that with a geocentric model. Even the Antikythera mechanism did it with a geocentric model. So I don't know what you guys think this is, but it's all good.
Any thoughts over there, Daryl, before we carry on?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing the hubris of trying to just say that pointing out things from the direction of Earth is not the same as a heliocentric model. It's already been tried. If I remember right, it was something to do with difference and epicycles and all of these things that you tried to do to make a geocentric model work. I have to look up the terminology to make sure I'm remembering it properly. But it's just that the geocentric model simply didn't work.
It didn't work how? It didn't work how?
Well, because one, it was very complicated. For two, it did not predict everything with enough accuracy. They had to start making epicycles. Because in other words, we have retrograde motion. Retrograde motion is not properly accounted for unless you start adding planets going around the Earth in small circles to account for the retrograde motion. But then that became more complicated. That became more and more complicated as to try to get the timing down precisely. Whereas if you have the sun in the center, the retrograde motion is predicted precisely. So the idea that you don't have to have a model and have equations and so on and so forth is just amazing. And no one of any consequence is ever going to take you seriously until you actually start meeting the standards that science meets when it overthrows a previous model. Just like how, when, as I said earlier, Kepler came with an equation that we were able to use to not only predict the locations of then known planets, but to discover new planets. When Einstein came along, we were able to do things like predict the revolution of Mercury because it has a precession because it's so close to the sun and things of that nature. So,
all right, we do have to.
There's so much of that is wrong, and it's like, is it even? I mean, precession of Mercury.
So much of that is wrong. No, it's 100% correct, man.
Specifically didn't, the precession of Mercury specifically didn't work with Newtonian gravity. Relativity tried to account for it because it was observed 4 decades before relativity was proposed. They still weren't able to fix it. They actually have different fixes.
What? Red's rhetoric? Really?
To this day to add on top of relativity. You just made that the anomaly was less pronounced. And again, the geocentric model works perfectly fine. In fact, my boy Shane won a $10,000 bet. He bet he couldn't predict the eclipse with a flatter geocentric model, and he did. So
let's
how it
go.
goes.
Matters Now is asking. Thanks again, Witz. I'm sorry for cutting you off. We've got so many super chats, so I want to hold you guys for.
Cool, let's go through them fast.
Yeah, no worries. Matters Now says, Witz, what's the IV and DV for Coulomb's law?
What's the IV and DV? I would just say that the DV would be attraction or repulsion, and then the IV would be the actual charge, of course. So,
right.
Like it's not really a specifically coherent question, to be honest, but
Coulomb's law. That's it. Yeah, they said that Newton stole from Coulomb's law when Coulomb came after Newton or something like that.
You have IV and DVs for specific experiments, not the descriptions of the phenomena based on a mathematical quantification. So it's kind of an incoherent question, but anyway.
All right, let's try to keep these to the side they're addressed to, I guess, to try to get through. We've got lots of great questions, and honestly, if you have a question that's like I say multi-layered, then maybe we'll get into some weeds. But if it's just for one speaker, then we'll just try to keep it to one side for a little bit. The Science of Science says evidence for heliocentrism is clips of Austin out of context. Amazing. So the Science of Science is coming at you there, Daryl. I think this is the second time the Science of Science. You're really not pleased with this tonight. So if you want to say anything to the Science of Science, feel free there, Daryl.
I would say just go to those sources I mentioned, the Professor Dave interview, the Veritas documentary, the quartering. If you want the link to the, maybe put a link in the chat if anybody wanted that link, because they can find the other ones. I don't want to overstep it. They can put a link there. Just to say anybody can go and see, and they'll see that the quotes are accurate. The reason why, and I already answered this, the reason why I brought that up because I knew he was going to change what he said. And secondly, all he presented was his words. If all you present is your words, then the discussion becomes: can your word be taken at face value? I presented evidence that anybody can get a satellite, look at the sun, anybody can go take spectra of the sun, anybody can experiment with gravity and see that it works as it's supposed to work. So anybody can go out and verify my presence for themselves.
All right, let's carry on, and thank you again, everybody, for their contributions, super chats. We really appreciate it. So let's carry on to the next one. Ambient guitar music. I have a Strymon Night Sky, so I'm known for that. Ambient guitar music's my thing. And Daryl clearly struggled in this debate, says AGM. Oh my. So we'll just carry on. I don't think there's a whole lot to.
If my printer was a little bit bigger, I could do the whole thing in one. Let me see something. Huh. Oh, shit. Oh, wait. Gonna rotate it. Oh, it's too tall. So let me rotate it down a little bit. Oh, that's weird. That won't work. No, that's not it. Green. Yeah, it won't work. Yeah, it just won't work. It's too tall diagonally. So I couldn't print a full-size Stratocaster body in one go.
I have a little brief.
Hey,
I'm aware that there's a...
Here he is. How you doing? Oh, thank you very much, sir.
certain percentage of the population.
Yeah, we're just watching Flat Earth videos and watching Austin Whitsitt get smashed.
Who, no matter what evidence you present, no matter how wrong you show what it is, they'll still believe it. So hopefully in the future something will open his eyes. So that's all I have to say about that.
Projection. You didn't show me to be wrong on anything. You didn't even engage.
Last word, Daryl.
What? You didn't show me to be wrong. Oh wait, we're not looking at the right thing here. Oh, there we go.
All good, thanks.
All right, all's good. Well, thank you so much, guys. All's good over here. So Esteban El Baca says, the current eclipse prediction actually works centuries in advance, same as old cycles, using new data to improve. Yeah, we've already read that one, actually. Sorry. I'm scrolling around, and every once in a while there are questions that are similar, so I've got to wonder. Let's see. Azahoui, even if the sun is a physical object, what does that have to do about if we revolve around it or not? How do we prove that? I think that one's for you there, Daryl.
Very good question. So basically what we can do is we can experiment with gravity locally, directly, and understand how gravity works. And we could extrapolate that to larger scales and determine how things will behave at that level. The fact that we can make accurate predictions about things, for instance, at the solar system scale, demonstrates our understanding of gravity is correct. And therefore, we orbit around the sun because the sun is so massive. The reason why I took spectra to show that it actually has matter in it is because some of the slighter delusions or the geocentric delusions of the sun is electromagnetic or just a light source or things like that. But you can actually study the sun in a scientific way and confirm that it's actually matter. So it'll behave in a gravitational way just like everything else, except it's so massive that it'll have a large gravitational field. So that's why it was relevant.
Yep. I don't know if you saw Reds on the beginning of the live stream. Flatzoid and his little cult came by Discord, and I had a chat with him. It was pretty good.
All right. I think we'll move on from there. That's I think maybe
Cool. Yeah,
a lot of
fun. He's wrong about everything.
Couldn't help but get that in there. Thanks,
You're wrong about everything. You're wrong about everything. I'm smarter than everyone.
Right, so King of
Hey,
says,
Glover Mom.
well, run Witsit.
Hey, Glover.
Oh no, asked for a model! And exclamation points. So Kango 44 is coming at you as per usual.
Let me address that. They're going to consistently claim that there doesn't exist one. And I quoted very specific ones. Luca Popov, Neo-Tychonian, Newtonian, Machian analysis of planetary motion of bodies. Luca Popov.
And none of those are flat Earth. None of those are flat Earth.
Of European Journal of Physics. Andre Assis, Relational Mechanics, shows the dynamic equivalence of a geocentric model. He even uses a Lorentz magnetic force for the gravitational force that would be exerted by distant galaxies due to circular rotation. Angular momentum would keep the perpetual motion and create a dynamic equivalence. This is specifically modeling all phenomena of motion observed in the sky, not just the solar system, but all the way out. Okay? And ironically, it doesn't need dark matter and dark energy the way that your model does, because you can't even get the math to work outside of the solar system. The irony is you don't have a model that you can actually use math and equations to predict things, because as soon as you step outside the solar system, it completely falls apart. You don't even. That's the most ironic part of the entire situation.
I got to follow up here. Thank you, Kango, for your super chat. We appreciate it. Paul Brasfield says, Witsit, you got the courage to tell the class who the they is you're always talking about.
I just want to be respectful to the channel. There's a powerful group of people that seem to have predominantly overrepresentation, some ethnic preferences, and lots of control over our country. I don't. There's an entire group, but it does seem to be dominated by specific overrepresentation. But put it together, man. What foreign state feels that they control our country?
So your evidence is paranoia.
Oh man, Witsit, well.
And Q, and the Republican Party.
I get us in trouble.
You don't get us in trouble this evening, but you say you don't want to debate these things, but I can see it in your face. I know we were talking before the show.
I feel like they're so so simple and obvious that it's like, I don't even know, like, how someone
totally,
would it be worthy of debate, you know?
You totally walk through them.
Yes, when you're gullible enough to fall for something, you think it's true, and you're surprised when nobody else thinks it's true.
I know you do. Zoe.
Maybe just to wake people up that don't know about it.
That's the way paranoia works. That's the way delusion works.
That's maybe why.
No worries. Let's see. I'm sorry to keep you waiting there, Daryl. We got a couple more questions for Witsit here. We'll try to move through. Maybe I'll give you a chance to respond to this one here. The globe model was literally made after observing the consistent night sky on our flat, non-rotating Earth. So yes, the globe model, in quotes, is accurate because it's based on our predictable, simple Earth. This one's for you already, so go ahead there, Daryl.
That's pretty goddamn dumb.
I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. The globe model is based upon the flat observations on the flat Earth. I mean,
well, they say after observing the consistent night sky on our flat, non-rotating Earth. So yes, the globe model is accurate because it's based on our predictable, simple Earth.
I'm not sure.
I don't
even. We can just go on. Y'all don't even know what to say about that.
So denying reality and replacing with your own.
Witsit, if you maybe can help clarify, if not,
hey Garrett, hold on.
Oh, wait, you can maybe put
that the globe Earth was literally created over many hundreds of years, certainly the heliocentric model, by looking at the repetitive cycle that consistently happens in the sky. So it's a periodic cycle, right? They took those observations and slowly over time started reverse engineering a globe model, right? And then for people to come around in 2024 and be like, hey, look, I know the globe model's true because it matches the sky, is incredibly ignorant, because that's literally how it was created, and it took a long time, and it kept being wrong, and it keep adding wobbles and twists and all kinds of. So that's his point. It was literally originally derived from the sky. To claim the fact that it matches the sky somehow proves it is fundamentally fallacious and ignorant.
Okay, that's for sure.
I got you, brother. I like to actually engage with the
ignorant
points.
Man.
Oh, Ryan, I didn't realize he stepped away. So, dude, Daryl, this is the crazy part, man, right? I get you're a little out of your depth here, apparently. I don't know. But like, I mean, I'm in this, but I'm curious, bro. Like, you could level with me in some good faith, right? So when I say, like, you can see that in your own paradigm, like, you can't actually measure the Earth, like, that's what it says. It says that because motion is relative and we're on the Earth and it's free falling in a geodesic path of curved space-time, that any attempt to measure the orbital motion while you're on the Earth won't work. You won't be able to detect it because time slows down, and any apparatus you try to detect it will actually contract, and it'll perfectly compensate for the differences in time difference you would use to measure motion. So,
what? What the fuck are you talking about? What'd you fucking call me?
Like, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm just perplexed as to the approach.
You didn't even know how to integrate acceleration. You didn't even know that the kinematic equations are integrations of Newton's laws. And you expect me to believe that you understand relativity and all these other things enough to tell me that's what it means, and then try to refute what you're telling me it means. No, I don't know how many times I have to keep repeating that. Next question.
We can move into the
Wait,
next
it has nothing to. It has nothing to do with the reason that I finally had enough. It had nothing to do with. It's so simple. All you did was cross out variables and prove my point that it was kinematic in its origin. The reason I finally was fed up. It was like clearly the tactics was just to try to get a gotcha, make me look bad. And I feel like I almost did a favor to come here. You don't get a distract like that. So anyway, we
The
can
thing is, Professor Dave didn't challenge you, so you didn't get a chance to check and drive on him. But if you listen to what he said when I first asked him the question, are you saying the kinematic equation doesn't have to do with gravity? If you listen to what he said to Professor Dave in their debate, and then you see what he's saying afterwards, you can see the check and drive. You don't know what you're
I
talking
showed
about.
it. I showed the kinematic equation. I showed. Wait, let me say one thing. I said yes in Professor Dave. I said you can use the kinematic equation to determine 9.8 meters per second squared. You asked me about it here. I confirmed. I am still saying that. I showed it. I showed what the actual equation was. What you did was then take your alleged dynamic equation, and then you started to integrate it. And what you did was actually end up with only a kinematic. You proved my point, which is that's actually just a kinematic with additional variables thrown in there with an unverified dynamic mechanism. It isn't. It's literally just kinematic. You proved my point. I said it's solved with kinematics. You brought up a dynamic equation, and then ended up integrating it, proving that it ends up just being a kinematic equation. So I mean,
what I've shown is after today, only the dumbest, most ignorant people will remain followers of you after they've seen how wrong you are on basic things. That's what I've shown.
It's good to show that people can really just have two totally different experiences in the same place.
All right, let's carry on to the next question there, guys. I appreciate you being on your, in my quotations, best behavior while I had a call of nature. So thank you so much, both of you. Zahoe says, imagine being Daryl and clipping these for his soundboard like, yes, I'm going to get him with this one. Lol. Those were in capitals, so I did my best, Zahoe, to give it some juice. But you can decide to move on, or you can engage with Zahoe on that.
I'll respond briefly. Yeah, I think it was fun. So yeah, shout out to me, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Zahoe says again, just scrolling up here. Challenge. Challenge. Criticize anything Witsit says without saying word salad because you can't understand. Oh, he's coming at you again. Anything to say to Zahoe?
I guess I would need a timestamp of when I ever even said that word. I'm not going to say it now because then I would have said it, but I don't remember ever in this entire discussion mentioning that phrase. So if you give me a timestamp where he mentioned it, then I'll take a look and see.
I think you preemptively sent that because you all do that, but your tactic was a little different. Your tactic was a little different. Yeah, it was just to say that you've already discredited me as a source altogether, so you don't have to engage with any of my points whatsoever, which is
the thing is,
maybe
you
worse.
Points. Your points were trying to tell me what my position is. You're
I don't want to go circles about it.
Yeah, let's not do that right now. I think we'd probably just be best to move on there. I think you both made your.
You said I take that. You take the quotes I invoked out of context and asked for a specific example. You said all of them, and I said okay, if it's literally all of them, you got to name one specifically, and you can't. It's just the same word cell tactic, but a little different.
If you want to respond, go ahead, Daryl. I said we're moving on.
Sorry, man, we got to lay it out because people are coping in the chat. I'm guessing, and I realize this conversation is one that makes people literally see things differently, and you got to kind of like lay it out for them. This was disingenuous bad faith tactics.
See things or see thing either way. I don't know if you're with me on this.
Not too bad there.
Yeah, I can segue every once in a while. I don't know if you're with me on this website. We should create a merch store and come up with a modern day debate handkerchief for all the tears we get. Anyways, let's carry on. Kango 44. We'll help you dry those salty tears, you sensitive little. Anyway, Positively Diverse Podcast says, thanks for the contact. Keep debating. You do keep failing and flailing, but still great content. Let's push for an Aaron Ra evolution debate.
So I tried to get, okay, so that's what I find it interesting. I actually would debate evolution. I would have to brush up on some of the specifics because I mean, like irreducible complexity. And the point is, I actually wanted him to debate atheism versus creationism. And he didn't, he refused to do so. And what I discovered is almost no atheist. Shout out to Leo, actually, right? He took that debate. But almost no atheist will do that. They want to talk about evolution versus creationism. That's a false dichotomy, right? So what I was told was that, I think this is important real fast. They told me that atheism versus creationism was a false dichotomy. No, it's not. You know, either this place was created or it wasn't. Either there's a creator or no creator. That's not a false dichotomy. There's no viable third option. But evolution and creationism is a false dichotomy, right? Because the creator could have created the process of evolution. So I want him to defend the philosophical, implications of atheism and show that it's even viable. And no atheist will debate it. No atheist will debate it. So shout out to Leo, at least he did attempt to do so. So that's my take on Aaron Ra. I want atheism, creationism, not evolution.
See, I remember you guys, of course, we had a few chats when we met up in Texas there. And once again, we will be having another live event. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, yeah, it'll be in New Jersey. It's going to be in October. It's going to be great. Hopefully, people will see you guys there. But yeah, I remember I was going around at the time saying, oh my goodness, we needed to have that handkerchief. What do you think, Daryl? Do we need to come up with some sort of merch or modern day debate handkerchief that just dry all the tears of all the people that just get so upset?
It would be fun.
I think it would be a top seller. All right. All right. So I was going to get you guys' opinion. I think I'm going to go forward with that one. Kango 44. Why don't we use geocentric model for the Ephemerides? Not sure if I'm saying that right. Ephemerides, developers and modern Ephemerides. I don't know how to say this word. Use in the
Ephemeris.
Okay, thank you so much. Ephemeris. Use in the barycentric model. Strange terms. Thank you so much, though.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, basically, why do you guys not use the barycentric? Can you read again? I'm sorry. Not the hard words. I'll replace them.
Yeah, help me out, right? I don't use the geocentric model for the Ephemerides. I can't remember. Developers of the modern Ephemerides use
Ephemeris, yeah.
Yeah, use the barycentric model. Boys, oh boys, I'm struggling with that one tonight.
It's just hard for me to remember every time I forget it because of the thing, but the modern people don't use the barycentric ephemeris. Why do they not use the barycentric one? I'm not sure what the question is. So I think it's for him probably, but I'm trying to help out on this.
But if you can help us out there, Daryl, and maybe clarify what we're hearing here.
I'm not sure.
Me neither. I'm probably saying it wrong, and that's just screwing everybody up. I'm so sorry. Zahoe says, we already read that one, Zahoe, thank you so much. Hango 44 says, Earth's orbit causes some stars to be visible only in certain months. The night sky looks different throughout the year because we only see in one direction, away from the sun. This information is 10 years old, says Kango. So, any thoughts on the panel?
I would say it's more than 10 years that we knew that, but if that's what you meant. But yeah, so we basically the sun is in a certain.
No, sorry. He said this information. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I did read it entirely wrong. I'm going to blow this up because I'm apparently, just getting too old and I can't see right anymore. He says this information is for 10-year-olds. Okay,
I got you. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes. So yeah,
that's for me. That's for me, right?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. But I mean, I don't care really. But it's Kango. He's one of my biggest fans.
Oh, okay.
So he's not really.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. But he's saying like you don't even get what a 10-year-old would get. Blah blah. Okay. Yeah, but the truth is actually like yes, we see different stars at different times of the year. One option is that there's literally a procession and progression of the sky around a stationary Earth. Option two is that it just looks like that, right? But actually we're moving. So it's very simple. It's like the sun changes position relative to the sky throughout the year. There's a giant cycle. Either the Earth is supposedly moving, making it look like that as an illusion, or it's just actually doing that. So the position, like observations of stars being specific to certain times of the year, isn't exclusive to heliocentrism at all. And it's called a kinematic equivalence.
All right. Seems like we're ready to move on there, fellas. All
No,
right, so
kinematic
thanks once again to our live
equivalent.
chat.
I don't mind giving a response if I can.
Oh, okay. I just figured you were going to jump in there, but go ahead.
I think all anybody has to do is go through my presentation and take the steps to understand every part. Like understand Newton's laws and do some experiments with masses and understand how gravity works, which we have to do in our physics lab. Then study the planets and understand orbits and just move up the line, and you'll see that the solar system is heliocentric. That's all I have to say.
All right, cool. Okay, Kango44 says, question for Witsit. Which side of the dome do we need to be on to see the stars rotate clockwise and then counterclockwise? And then Kango, being, you know, the friendly person they are, says clown to follow.
Okay.
What a nice
Yeah.
person you are, Kango. But I read it. You know, people get upset if I don't read them verbatim. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. Don't make me say anything stupid. I won't read that. But go ahead there, Austin.
Yeah, it's funny. They think this is like a gotcha. It's so embarrassing. It's like elementary level stuff. Like Professor Dave denying that, for example, if I spin a bicycle tire in the garage and then I look at it from a different direction, it'll look like it's spinning the opposite way. Obviously, it was just spinning the same way the whole time. If I turn around, look at it, it's going to look like it's going, say, left to right. And then if I turn around and look at it from the other way, it'll look like right to left. They're like, oh, would you have to be outside the dome? They don't understand that the stars are above you. They look like they drop down in front of you. You're either looking towards the north or looking towards the south. I will say, though, I saw a very interesting model at a conference I spoke at recently. And this guy showed the projection of the star trails, right? So all moving one direction, and actually created the counter rotation in like 4 quadrants on the outside of the dome. It was wild. It was really cool. So, but anyway, yeah, like layers to the dome, you see within there, it's all relative to the center. I'm blown away now at what people think are like home runs. So it's all good.
All right. Yeah, I think I think we should move on, guys, because we got lots of.
Because these are like these weed specific things that some of us know about, right? I know the audience is like, what exactly are they talking about?
Let's try to push forward. Lisa, there's lots of questions. At least Austin did not resort to playing the Rubik's Cube. Oh, I think the Science of Science is not a fan of MC Toon on our last debate, but he did solve the Rubik's Cube. I did notice that, so that that's interesting. Fat ass dogs. Oh my, dogs that can't get insulin. I don't know what this is. If the Earth doesn't revolve around the sun, then how can you explain changes, weather, and changes of seasons? To clarify.
Are you serious? The sun moves in relation to the Earth, and it has its own cyclical pattern that changes throughout the year. And that's not again, this is not exclusive to shape, this specific conversation. But anyway, so, you know, let me explain a little. Either the sun is not moving in relation to us, but it looks like it's moving because we're moving around it, or the sun is literally just moving in relation to us and it has an analemma because it moves its pattern throughout the year, which is what it does. The other model, the heliocentric model, claims it looks like an analemma because we're moving around it, an ellipse, and it's an illusion. So that would explain the seasons and the locality of the sun and all of that both ways. Actually, only one is viable though. That's that the Earth's not moving. It's been proven.
Any thoughts on the other side?
God.
You know, look at my presentation. You can see that we're on a line, and you can see that if you understand Kepler's laws and Newton's laws, and that's how we even measure the masses of like the sun and the Earth by understanding these things and the predictions. One side is a clear winner, which is why we've been understanding the world is heliocentric. And when was it? The 17th century when it first started to come. So don't revert to the thinking of people from before thousands of years ago. It's horrible.
All right. Any last words there, Austin, before we move on?
I mean, no. Like the argument that people used to think something back in the day and they don't think it anymore, so it must be correct is ridiculous. All of science was geocentrism in 1887 because of Michelson Morley. It doesn't matter what some people thought back in the day, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got no proof of it. It's okay. It's just like a religious belief. So.
All right, let's just carry on then. DJ Nugs says geocentrism has multiple meanings. On the key to geocentric ephemeris of the planets that Witsit screen shares. Oh, you got me. All right, it literally says geocentric means as seen from Earth's center. Witsit is dishonest, they say. So go ahead there and
what does that do to rebut me at all? Nothing's dishonest. What's dishonest is heliocentric proponents pretending that you need a heliocentric model to make predictions for eclipses or solar motion or planetary alignment, when literally the way we do all of that is with the ECF. So they make the original claim that, oh, you need a heliocentric model, you can't even show these predictions. Well, where's your model? We're like, oh wait, that's literally how everyone in the world makes the predictions, is using a geocentric model. And then it shifts over to, but that's because we're from the Earth. How does that prove anything? It's like, what? You're the one that made the ridiculous claim of exclusivity that doesn't exist. So it's all very interesting. Like, yeah, we map everything from the Earth being in the center because that's how we actually observe reality at all levels.
Let's push forward. Zahoe says, I think this is for you again, Daryl. Austin Witsit quotes Einstein. Daryl quotes Austin Witsit. Well, thank you for your 20th super chat. We really appreciate Zahoe and your support for the channel. So they're saying Austin Witsit quotes Einstein. Daryl quotes Austin Witsit. Any thoughts over there, Daryl?
It's because I had the information that, or idea that once I tried to pin him on some of the stuff he said, he would start changing it. So that's why I want to bring the quotes to make sure I can pin him. That's why I also played that quote where he said that if you're not consistent, you're a shucking and driver and you're a liar. So he showed himself to either have to be a shucking and driver or a liar, and a liar because he's shucking and driving, or when he said that, he was lying. So either way it goes, you can pick which kind of lie he wants to be. That's why I brought the quotes.
I literally explained the actual context of each quote and offered you a $1,000 bet in front of everyone that if we went and listened to it in context, it would say exactly what I said, which is when you move one sphere in front of another, it distorts the shadow, and you just went silent. So I didn't change my position on anything. I added the proper context to what you tactically. I actually think you probably just don't follow my arguments, and so you actually maybe believe some of the strawmans, and that is of course Hitchens' razor, which is don't assume ill intent, that which can adequately be explained with competence. But I'm actually giving you the benefit of the doubt.
I was going to say, you guys throw $1,000 in bets around quite lucratively. I'm just
it really cuts the nonsense out very quick, Ryan. Right? If someone's just lying and BSing, and you're not going to bet you $1,000, are they?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to start asking you guys for money or something. I don't have that kind of money to throw around. What do you guys
just
do?
know that there's a 0% chance I can lose the bet. So it's literally just a procedure to try to expedite honesty. Because at this point, I found I needed to come up with something.
All right, I'm just having fun. So I'm just joking. But yeah, thanks again to super chatters. We appreciate you. Kango44 says, Witsit, can you please integrate Daryl's equations?
Yeah, he did it. It wasn't about whether or not. Think about the level of like mentality. Think about the mentality required to come here. It's almost like this weird obsessive sadist. Like it's like, let's just try to ask Austin. Like let's treat Austin like he's our child or our slave. He's so beneath us that we can come and be like, hey, do this, do that, do this. Hey, you know what? Make these equations for me. Hey, pull this out and write this out for me. Hey, go do. It's like, no. Oh, listen to your clips. That was the point. It's out of principle. It was disrespectful. He proved my point with that. That was the biggest backfire of the entire debate. He integrated it and showed that it ends up just being a kinematic equation, which was my whole point. So I think that the intelligent audience members will pick up on that.
So if we can rewind right to the beginning, I think Daryl had some thoughts there to inject, and then we'll get to the next question and give you the closing thoughts. So if you want to respond,
I mean, more than once, you have interjected that your intellect is so outstripping everyone else and you're such a whiz at math. So you open the door to be challenged on those things that you're bragging about. So my conclusion is simply that you couldn't do it and you tried to run away from it. And if you could do it, then it makes sense that you would know that the kinematic equations are integrals of that, which I showed. So you couldn't do it. You're showing that you're wrong about what kinematic equations are. And there you go.
Dude, he literally keeps saying, proof I can't do it is that I didn't understand that the integrations result in the kinematic equation. The kinematic equation are parts of it. When that was my entire argument, I actually said it in my opening statement. I literally said it in my opener. Dude, you made my argument for me. And after the context of me being so good at math, I said that when I was in school, I had an aptitude for math. That's just a fact. What is that? It doesn't even matter.
Oh, you're saying
people that aren't specifically intelligent are the ones that brag about how they like, hey, look, I learned calculus and here's my equations. The actual context of that was I was saying it's just ironic because I actually do happen to have an aptitude of math. Aptitude doesn't even mean that I know all kinds of math if you know what the word aptitude means.
Well, I'm going to cut you off because our next super chat is directly asking about math. Alejandro asks, Witless got triggered because he got caught not knowing math. What's the matter? Whitsett can't do simple high school math. So we'll just keep carrying on that same thread there, Austin.
Yeah, no, it's not that I can't do it. It is that I do not have to sit here as if Daryl is so superior to me that he can just disregard every point I make and disengage. And he just has this list of like attempted gotchas or a smear campaign in what's supposed to be a debate. That was the second time he tried to get me to do some math equation in the middle of the debate, right? And it's just the principle of that. So like, wait, Daryl, do you want to bet that I can do that integration?
You just saw me do it, of course. But this is the question.
Eliminate variables in the
You did ask Daryl a question, so let's let Daryl respond.
But this is the response. When you asked me, okay, what's your evidence that the Earth revolves around the sun, and I went through detail in my presentation, are you saying that at that moment I should have told you, oh, you're not better than me, I'm not going to respond to you? Are you saying that's what my response should have been to you when you challenged me on my position?
Well, your response literally was that you don't have to answer my question.
Are you saying that when you challenged me, I should have told you what? You're not better than me, I'm not going to respond to you. Are you saying that's how I should have responded to you?
What are you saying? Is that what I'm saying? This is everything you do is weird and dishonest.
On your statements about math.
Sorry about
you're
that.
Saying, oh, your excuse is, oh, you're not better than me.
I guess it blurs it out. What I was using Fusion 360. Sorry, I guess it blurs it out.
But when you challenge me, answer you.
So what I said was.
So what I'm asking you now is, are you saying that when you challenge
me, you should be banned from the
Are you saying that when you challenge me, I should have told you, oh, you're not better than me, I'm not going to respond to you? Is that what I should have told you?
Okay, you said it 5 times. I'm trying to.
Last word for Whitsett, and we'll carry on.
Okay, so the actual point was that had nothing to do with the debate. You pulled out a clip of me saying that in high school I had an aptitude for math and they accused me of cheating. That's literally a fact. It's just a fact. I was telling a story in the Discord to friends or someone. I don't know exactly where it's from. You went and clipped it out and you brought that into a debate. That you said you were good at math in high school. Well, then do this equation for me. How does that have anything to do with an alleged intellectual discussion about heliocentrism and geocentrism? That is the point. It is little immature childlike tactics of bad faith.
All right, let's carry on, guys.
It establishes your credibility. That's what it does.
We got lots of super chats, and like I said, I think there's, based on what I'm reading here, there's all kinds of opportunity to put all kinds on the table. So, Alejandro,
banish him. I'm
send him to the banish.
I'm saying I won't be participating in a future debate with him. That's all.
Well, I appreciate you being here.
After this weapon you got.
You literally avoided every single point.
All right, you guys. All right, but either way, I appreciate you staying out here, Austin, despite feeling that way.
Yeah. Let's all agree to expedite it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm playing my role in it for sure. I'll do my part to expedite.
All right, let's carry on. Alejandro says Witless got triggered because he got caught not knowing math. What's the matter?
Yeah, you just read that one actually. That's that
sorry, he's got another one after that. A lot of them are very similar. Whitsett, Matters now says integration is important to understand gravity. Whitsett, if you don't understand it, you don't understand gravity. After show on Matters Now.
I understand. I had to teach Daryl about gravity the entire debate. He never engaged with it.
Okay.
Oh, you had to teach someone about gravity. Okay.
Let us just keep pushing forward. And thanks again to both our speakers and the live chat for the questions. Positively Diverse Podcast.
Oh, hey, Sean.
Says $2 for the tissues. Whitsett. Well, just you wait.
Yeah, you guys are coping. Anyone that thinks Daryl won this debate, I literally couldn't care less about trying to inform you of anything. You are completely coping and dishonest.
Well, just you wait. Next time we have a super chat like that, maybe somebody will have a handkerchief with MDD on it. And they can just anyway.
I'm supposed to just let, since I'm a flat earther, I'm supposed to just let anyone and everyone like treat me like I'm beneath
tell you, Austin, you should use that handkerchief.
them. No, that's actually correct. And I was very patient and bit my tongue for about an hour.
All right. Well, we'll try to get those tissues over to Positively Diverse Podcast since they were so triggered there. Just thinking. Man of War says, "What's in simple words? Can you explain what a kinematic equivalence is? And can you show a simple mathematical equation a layman can understand?"
No, I'm not going to show an equation right now, but I read a quote that explains it. I'll read the quote from Einstein again. Here it is. I have it pulled up right here.
Read a quote.
This is from Albert Einstein, The Evolution of Physics from Early Concepts of Relativity and Quantum, page 224, 1938. I'm just completely in context. Go check it out. This answers your question as to simply what is a kinematic equivalence. He explains it very simply here. The struggle, so violent in the early days of science between the views of Ptolemy and Copernicus, would then be quite meaningless. Either coordinate system could be used with equal justification. The two sentences, the sun is at rest and the earth moves, or the sun moves and the earth is at rest, would simply mean two different conventions concerning two different coordinate systems. And so that is the simplicity of a kinematic equivalence. Earth moves around sun moves around earth. Equally valid. How one object moves in relation to the other.
All right. Well, it seems like I caught you right in the end there. So I thank you, Austin, for.
Right, but we have extenuating circumstances that eliminate one of the choices. See?
Answering the question, Kango44 says this super chat is for the fun. It helps with its butt hurt. Oh.
When you put it to the test on it against reality, we eliminate one of the choices.
Okay, man. You are just like say some people.
You know, it looks good on paper, but once you put it up against retrograde orbits, you kind of lose out on the geocentric part.
Like you're to make friends tonight. Matters Now says.
Well, no, I shouldn't get upset, but it's just like, of course, the people that are here pretending Daryl won are like, anytime they can see anything, they will advocate and stamp any type of behavior or tactics because they just definitely want to see me like not know something or get upset. And that shows you again the weakness of your hand. If Austin kind of gets frustrated, then we win. It's such a gay little feminine. All right, no, sorry.
Oh my.
Right, says the guy that believes that if you can't prove everything within like a tolerance of 0, then you lose, then science isn't real.
All right. What matters now says, you got to argue I was a liar, and Ryan allowed it. I think this is Ozian, and to be fair, it seems like a strange high horse. I'm pretty sure you called me a liar at one point, Oz, so it's kind of a novelty in your world, isn't it? Sorry.
Dude, that whole thing was so weird. When Ozian did that was so weird, because it was like, I was explaining the context of what I actually said, and he was twisting it, but wouldn't let me say it, and he's like, because he really wanted that victim card, and he still runs around using it to this day, but
all right.
whatever.
I won't throw all that shade and just let us pile on.
I will. He stalks me on X. I had to block him. It was so bad.
Oh, God. All right. Miguel Infante says, so dishonest, Daryl. You have nothing but fallacious arguments. Good job, Witsit. Complete logical and intellectual domination.
Well, I would say if you think a semester of testing basic physics like Newton's laws and measuring things falling and calculating the motions, if you think taking spectra of the sun and finding the elements in the solar atmosphere, if you think studying the sun through a telescope as well as through satellite images and calculating the rotation, if you think that's just a fallacious argument, then okay. Okay, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I'm like impressed at the group, the level of toxicity of like heliocentric proponents. Actually, you guys are like extremists, basically. Like if this was Islam, you would be like jihad. No, you would be like ISIS or Hamas. You guys are Hamas. You're like this extreme minority.
You said you didn't want to debate political stuff.
Wow. Holy shit.
Don't make me mute you. Honestly, you say you don't want to debate all this stuff, but you.
No, I'm just using an analogy. Like whatever extreme terrorist group that's a minority, that's like the anti-flat earthers. It's like you guys are super. They're like so toxic and
you're so ready.
Why would you care? Why would you care?
Like I gotta wonder. I will have to try to get you on for one of those debates. I swear. I know you're secretly into it. But Daryl, if you have any response, we'll carry on.
All good.
All right, no worries. All right, Sasquatch says, Daryl, you got schooled tonight again. Pay attention this time. Sasquatch is just throwing shade in the live chat, so we got a few of those. No. We appreciate you guys. Like I said, it's all helping for our upcoming live event. I'm not sure if you're going to be in New Jersey this time, Witsit. I'm not sure if that's been on the docket, Daryl, if you're going to be attending the New Jersey convention. But yeah, it was a pleasure bumping into you last time there, Witsit, and getting host you and Leo and the other events that you got to do. So yeah, once again, to our live audience, keep an eye out. We're going to have some upcoming events for that. Wow, says Alexander.
The obsession is wild.
Oh yeah, we're all obsessed. I'm late, says Alexander L. But this is the most thorough destruction of Witsit ever. Okay, so he's
okay, cool. Can we let's expedite.
You want to expedite? Go ahead. We can carry on. But
it's just a lie. Everyone watched. He literally didn't even engage the points.
All right, talking back.
They're just trying to get me. Like they're just trying to say things to provoke me, Ryan. It's very obvious.
I know, but I was gonna say if I try to carry on and then you interject, then it carries on. You know, like they're getting what they want, right? Take Back Eden says, does Austin or Daryl think they are an ape?
I mean, he just talked about Daryl playing a victim. You play a victim all the time, man. You come with nothing, and then when people criticize you about it, they're like, "Oh, they're picking on me."
I think they're making an evolutionary commentary, so I think you participated in some of those debates, Austin. So you can.
Of course not. It's ridiculous. That's why there's no missing links or intermediate species, and it's just stupid on its face.
All right, any thoughts, Daryl, on that discussion before we move on?
I'm into physics and astronomy, so.
No worries. Alexander L says, Witsit finally got confronted on math. Well, Alexander, yeah, glad that you were happy with the results of what we got out of today's discussion. Positively Diverse Podcast says, best way to understand geocentric and or flat earthers, you need to understand people, and some people are dumb. By the way, love you, Ryan. I love you too, buddy. That's the Canadian way. We love everybody. That's just how we are. So
that's why your country's collapsing. I'm just kidding.
We have a good time here, honestly.
Yeah, you might want to pump the brakes on bringing everyone in, but.
I knew it. What's it? You keep saying I don't want to have political discussions. I can smell it coming off your mouth. All right.
Saying Europe has collapsed as we know it.
But the sun just collapsed on the table. All right. I'll have to check out what that is in a second. Best way to understand geocentric and or flat earthers, you need to understand people, and some people are dumb. So I don't know if you want to comment on any of the undertones there before I distracted with my Canadianness.
No, all that the majority of people have that defend heliocentrism is like literally just tactics and ad homs and like weird little poisoning the well fat. I mean, it's very low level, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Alexander L. Witsit cited the cosmic background radiation in this debate. If Witsit believes in the CBR, he has to believe in space and telescopes and NASA.
First of all, I actually didn't cite it. Someone asked about it in a super chat, and I added context to it. And I don't have to believe that anyone went to the claimed distances to get high altitude readings of the non-visible spectrum of light. I've explained this multiple times. No doubt you've heard it, and just know that I have to now say it again by you saying the question without the context you know exists, which is just pretty dishonest. But that seems to be the status quo for a lot of you guys.
All right, Sacred asks, Daryl, when did you highlight exclusive evidence for Earth's motion around the sun? That doesn't have a geocentric equivalence. Watch, you won't answer, they say.
Look at the whole presentation, and then when I answered Witsit's challenge on it, all of that about gravity, because given the mass of the Earth and the mass of the sun does not rotate around the Earth. All the planets don't rotate around the Earth. Everything revolves around the Earth. Everything revolves around the sun because gravity dictates that. That's the way it works.
If you account for all the mass and everything else that's in the universe, then the Earth would feasibly be in the center using Newtonian physics and dynamics as well as Einsteinian. You thought the sun was the center of the entire universe. You did not account for all that mass. I rebutted that in my opener. You have never addressed it yet.
All right, last word to Daryl.
I guess for the 10th time, I'm not going to listen to you tell me what my modeling position is when you can't even do basic integration. So yeah, let's keep going.
Maluka, I can't say this name. I'm so sorry. Like I'm gonna have to look at this for like a while. Witsit, what motive would government academic have for misleading the public? Are we mistaken or for control? And how would this actually control us?
The vast majority of people are not in on anything. But why would what would this benefit? How would this control us? Well, it's called the Copernican principle, which is that the Earth does not occupy a special or unique position, and it is a fundamental prerequisite to claim that this place is random happenstance and it's chaotic, blah, blah, blah. And that obviously ends up turning into atheism, which turns into nihilism and apathy, typically, right? Because there is no true reason or order to existence. And so nihilism is very easy to control. The best slave states are nihilist, and we've seen that obviously atheism/communism has resulted in the death of tens of millions of people because those people are apathetic. So that's just one of many ways, and I think a lot of these intellectuals actually are staunchly atheist. So they're always going to view through the lens of the Copernican bias. That's why I encourage everyone to watch The Principle, the documentary The Principle.
All right, Daryl, Witsit respond to your last question, so if you want to respond, and we'll give him the last word.
Just in relation to that, I am curious, Winston, is your position of geocentrism and flat Earth based upon like that God created it that way? Like, is a sort of religious belief to it?
No. Like it is the other way around. It's just that the evidence is that the Earth is geocentric and a stationary topographical plane, and then the consequence of that is that it was in fact created. Because logically speaking, there's no other way, right? Like once I discovered that the evidence shows the Earth in the center and that was being suppressed and lied about, if the Earth's in the center of the universe, well then, how to get there?
So it's safe to say that if flat Earth is, if you recognize flat Earth is disproven, that means from your perspective, God is disproven?
Of course not. No, you can prove God with the first and second natural law, with irreducible complexity, with just the complexity of everything, with actually the fact that systems seek equilibrium intrinsically. There are many ways that you can prove design.
Thanks for sharing. I was just curious.
All right, well, let's see. Daniel McGullen says, Daryl, say shuck and jive one more time, pretty please, they say.
Shuck and jive. Shucking and jiving.
Oh, man. Thanks, Daniel, for your contributions to helping us out your modern debate. We appreciate it. Yeah, Shane Taft says, I remember that quartering debate. They did a poll at the end and showed half the audience changed their mind after watching Austin smoke Dave so bad. So that's a commentary on another debate.
So you can prove the supernatural using natural science. Okay.
That happened, I think, in another space, too. So, if you want to check that out, I think Austin participated, and he's participated.
Let me correct myself. Apparently I said first and second natural law. Obviously meant the natural law is the first and second law of thermodynamics, which are natural laws.
All right, no worries. Hango 44, what's it? Given a 5-kilogram ball, 2 meters from the ground, impulsed with 10 newtons, please solve for where the ball will land using your understanding of physics. This is a very simple problem.
No. Like, think about this. Let me say one thing. What other debate, hey, Ryan, can you tell me, what other debate with any actual intellectuals ever have shown up to the debate with a pop quiz of math questions that they want to ask the other person and demand that they start to do the math in front of everyone at that moment? What respectable debater would ever tolerate that from someone like a constituent? No one. It has nothing to do with if you can. That's the most disrespectful, derogatory position ever. It's like you think you're so much better that you can come and just boss the other person around with gotcha questions. No, dude, you should. It's
with gotcha questions. No, it's a question about math. It's an equation.
You people have no juice.
Well, I was gonna say you're scraping at low hanging fruit when it comes to me because I am very bad at math.
Dude, like I'm saying, Ryan, can we be honest?
But Whitsitt is so much better at math. He's better than everyone. He said so.
About this, like Daryl, there's a guy sending a super chat saying, "Hey, solve for this math equation." So if a flat earther sends you a solve for this math equation, Daryl, right now, solve for this math equation, you're gonna just start doing it all. I'm like, wait, everyone pause. Let's wait up. Let me do my math equation because someone said $5 and told me to come up with a random equation. So let me.
That might be a fair criticism. What do you think of that, Daryl? Would that be something that you might be like, hey, that's I'm gonna have to take a moment?
I would say like this. I did solve an equation.
Yeah, you would.
Right? So somebody challenged me with something else. I did. So it's not a question of would I do it.
Okay, cool. So I'm about to have someone send you an equation right now.
Let me finish answering the question.
Yeah, let me finish. I asked the question as neutral as I could, so go ahead there, Daryl.
This is the thing with it. People who have legitimate challenges to the current paradigm don't have to be challenged because they lead with it. Kepler didn't come up and just say, the sun is in the center of the solar system and the planet is going a predictable way. And they said, well, give us the equation. And you said, well, you're not the boss of me. He started with the equation. Same thing with Newton. He started with the understanding, with the calculus, right? And the 3 laws. And
he started with the sun was God.
The same thing with Einstein. He started with relativity. So people who have legitimate positions don't have to be asked to challenge. They lead with everything that's needed to figure it out for themselves. So when I ask you for these equations and models and you don't have them, it's because your position is not a valid position.
Okay, like I said, dude, there's a huge. You guys are weirdos. I'm gonna be very honest here. To go send super chats and be like, hey, so look, and you come up with specific values of a specific little math question, right? Like, oh, or just like when I'm like, oh, if you look at the latitude 37 degrees, I want you to solve the magnetic declination at 12:37 p.m. It's like, oh, you didn't answer it right then. Haha, stupid. It's such a weird, dishonest, bad faith tactic. The fact you had an equation that you were ready to fill out has nothing to do with someone saying super chat to say, solve this right now live. Haha, what's it can do math? I offered you a bet that I could do the integration, and you didn't take it because you know I can do it. So let's just move on because this is gay to me. It's just so stupid. And
all right. We got 50, all right. I'm gonna try to get you out of here in about 15 minutes here. Isa Kabir asking to you as well. Who are these globalists? Which group, please say?
What's up? What do you say? Who's the group of globalists?
This is from Isa. So Isa's been on the show before. Really, I like Isa a lot. Very kind person. Who are these globalists? Which group? Please say.
I don't think there's any singular group. I already explained that there's a group that's overrepresented. I don't want to. This is disrespectful to the channel. That's how you know what it is. You can't actually say specific things. So you know who's in control, but who you can't criticize. All right. Zionist. Stop being a little bees. What someone says. It's just out of respect for someone else's channel. It's nothing to do with that.
Yes, he thinks he's saying Jews.
I literally talk about it all the time on my channel.
All right, well, okay, let's carry on. JSS Tiger says, how is the globe reverse engineered by looking at the sky? Stand at the equator, look north, and the stars go counterclockwise. Look south, and they rotate clockwise. Looks like we're getting back into some of the FE discussion there, but you feel free to respond.
I didn't listen. Like, I don't know. This debate's not supposed to be about flat Earth. It's not supposed to be about, like, oh, let's see if we can ask Austin a random, like, gotcha question. It's just weird to me. I'm trying to be pretty patient here, but I didn't hear the question. Sorry. What is the question?
So the question is, how is the globe reverse engineered by looking at the sky? Stand and look at the equator, look at the stars go counterclockwise. Look at the south, and they rotate clockwise.
Okay, it's because the literal dimensions and longitude and latitude coordinate system of the globe came from the sky, literally. That's how we created the globe dimensions in the first place. So quite literally, longitude and latitude coordinate system, that is the...
Right, and if that coordinate system is a sphere, then the Earth is a sphere.
Globe comes from the sky, reverse engineered.
All right, Joe Brandon says, Daryl is the smart one on this panel.
Cool stuff. Nice.
Well, no, I'm just sad. I'm just going to take that with me. That's it for
me. I'm sure they mean the
How are they overrepresented, someone says?
Well, he didn't mean with you included, Ryan. You're a pretty boy.
They overrepresented? How is a group, if they say hypothetically a group makes up anywhere from 0.2 to 2% of the population, but controls 98% of banking and media, and like 70% of certain Nobel Prizes in certain fields, but they make up 2% of the media, would that be overrepresentation? It would, of course. Because if it wasn't overrepresentation, they would equate to 2% of those things.
All right, let's go.
That's how. They're trying to trap me into calling me anti-Semitic. That's all this is.
You are anti-Semitic. You're proving it, dude.
Well, let's carry on. Winston, you had a conversation with Alex Jones, classic, very animated Alex Jones. The YouTube figure for a long time matters now. Winston, why did you let Alex Jones own you?
He didn't even. What are you talking about? He didn't. I was talking to Harrison. He came on and said one thing, rambling somewhat incoherently about how he saw the sun when he was young, when him and his dad would sit out and drink beers, and then he just ran away. He didn't even let me reply. Why'd you let Alex Jones own you when he didn't? You didn't even have a chance to respond to him. It's like, I don't know. Why do you guys lie about everything?
All right, let's carry on. Zahoe says Austin is one of the smartest people on our plane. So you have a fan out there in Zahoe, and he's letting you know, and that's a Canadian. Would you believe it, Winston? All right.
No, I don't hate Canadians. I just hate politics of Canada.
Oh, no worries. Joe Brandon says most in this chat are flat earthers. I'm not sure about that based on the poll. It seemed like we had a very good split, actually. It was quite nice to see that we have a diverse crew hanging out in our live chat.
I think most flat earthers probably dipped out by now, and then the group that's here for the globe are literally just obsessively trying to find hope that they can get me triggered. I think it's a really weird dynamic, but.
Well, I'll put up another poll here in a second after I ask this next question from Zahoe. So most on Earth will be.
Yeah, you asking me questions I can't answer is you being weird.
Flat earthers. Just give it 5 to 10 years, and
I mean, what a millennial thing! What a millennial way to think.
Truth will continue to spread. So I'm going to bounce it over to Daryl. Do you think that's going to be the case? That will become the consensus, and we won't be putting Austin on the positive anymore, and we'll be doing the opposite in the future?
Of course not, because as time goes on, technology will continue to improve. Eventually, we'll be a space-faring race. So there's no possible way that the mainstay of science. I mean, the fact is, the technology we have is based upon our understanding of the world. A lot of the technology we have on Earth was developed putting spacecraft in space. So there's no way that we will, as a whole, take that reversion. For instance,
the transistor, the integrated chip. That's as a direct result of the spacefaring. Of going into space, because they needed the circuitry to be lighter, so they integrated it into a chip.
Diapers. That's one of them that comes to mind.
It had nothing to do with actual space. Like they supposedly developed that because they wanted it for space, right? But that has nothing to do with the idea you just feel like technology requires the understanding of Earth's helios. It's just patently false.
And notice, by the way, Ryan, I didn't tell you not the boss of me. I answered your challenge. Thank you.
I was going to say,
it's all good. I'm saying all technology uses geocentric stationary plane Earth.
I answered your challenge and I showed your excuse. Again, doesn't fly.
Okay, we have the heliocentric model thing for diapers.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought for a second that we might be going down into the astronauts relieving themselves in space thing again, and that was a total last time we talked about that.
Didn't diapers exist kind of like throughout all history?
I believe they were more like cloth and stuff like that. My understanding is that the updated version was made for space.
Yeah, so kind of had to take off your kid and windmill over your head to just. All right, out to the sea you go. All right, Alejandro says, I'll debate you on atheism versus creationism anytime. Well, Alejandro, you may as well message me on the Discord, or you can hit up moderndayDebate@gmail.com. You can reach me at bc.adt. There's lots of ways that you can get on the channel if you want to debate. But yeah, let's carry on. We got lots of questions. Zahoe says, science is a religion and a cult. It requires blind faith. It tells you you're spinning when your body tells you you're not. It asks you to replace your own senses and trust the authority of government.
That's what I say.
There he goes. It's a distrust of government, a distrust of authority. It's not necessarily about what shape the Earth is.
Maybe I would say scientism. Someone said name something. Not that one. It's like, no, he made a claim that the heliocentric model.
The only thing they hate science about is it proves them wrong.
Understanding that and space is somehow required for all kinds of technologies, and that's not true at all. The opposite's true. You have to treat the Earth as if it's flat for all the technologies, and as if it's stationary. As for example, it's a diaper. Diapers are not exclusive to the Earth being a spinning ball in space. That was the whole point. So you guys are not understanding, but anyway.
No worries. I'm just
be a spinning ball of dookie.
I'm seeing some strange chats in the live chat there.
I probably stopped reading that one, but I think that was kind of to me, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's kind of interesting that someone would refer to science as scientism and just believing what government authority says, when this is literally a debate where the person on the globe side showed his own spectra of the sun, showed his own pictures of the sun, and they're still saying that we just believe what they tell us. It's amazing. So let's keep going.
It has nothing to do with it. The Earth is moving around it.
We'll carry on. Mark Turner says atheism is not something you debate against creationism because atheists have multiple existence theories, evolutions, aliens, just to name 2.
Well, aliens is creationism, buddy. Atheism, if you say aliens created us, that's creationism. Okay, so creationism meaning that this place was created, or the idea that it wasn't created with intelligent design, right? No deity, no intelligent design. Like creationism, or this place wasn't created, or just answer that question, just debate that question. Was the Earth created? But the point is, atheists never want to actually defend it. It's always just a point over there and try to make fun of the Bible or something. Atheists cannot philosophically defend their belief that this place could exist without any intelligent design. They cannot do it. Literally, they can't do it.
All right. G Guns, just less than $2, so thank you for that. And then again from G Guns after that, their first super chat says, has Brian Mullins been silenced? To Whitsit.
What was it?
They asked, has Brian Mullins been silenced? I'm not sure who that is.
I don't know. I think basically a bunch of psycho anti-flat earthers called his profession.
Okay.
Tell him that he was a flat earther and that they need to take care of him, and the same type of behavior you see overrepresented in the chat right now.
Okay. Alexander L says,
sorry.
I'm gonna move on from that one, Alexander L. I appreciate you, but yeah. tune in for another debate if you're gonna make that type of commentary. G Guns says, get Brian Mullins on the show for a $1,000 super chat. I think that's G Guns making a commitment. So G Guns, if you source this person out and want to put $1,000 towards our next live event, you go for it. I am all for you. Alejandro Valhero says, Whitsitt complaining that we act like he is beneath us when he acts like we and the scientific community are beneath him. You reap what you sow.
No, that's not true. That's actually not true. Actually, I engage in intellectual discussion. I actually want to talk about the ideas and the specifics of it, right? That's not treating someone like they're beneath you. That's treating them like they're your equal. Trying to have an actual...
No, you want to deny all evidence and preach. That's what you want to do. You want to deny every bit of evidence presented to you and preach about your bullshit.
Honest intellectual discussion, showing up to discussion in good faith. Now, the other side of the coin is showing up in bad faith, being intellectually dishonest, thinking that people are beneath you, they don't even deserve like basic respect. You don't have to address or engage their points. You can gaslight them, call them names, belittle them, basically act like a sadist where you find enjoyment. Okay, my point is those people are very different things. That's you guys. That is you guys. You guys do that.
Sad face.
Some of us do it there.
Yeah, I see mostly to Whitsitt, so yeah, I'm good.
Okay, Congo 44 says, Whitsitt, you just said that Daryl should be banned from the platform. Censor much. Oh, they're using you trying to censor people. So how's their Austin?
Well, no, I would never actually advocate for censorship of someone. But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, I think obviously this is my channel, I don't care. But if someone's going to go to a debate show, there should be some type of parameters of decorum that's expected. You couldn't just let anyone and everyone come here and just start shouting at the top of their lungs the whole time, right? I mean, there has to be some type of decorum expected.
Yeah, there should be some sort of decorum and rules, like you present your evidence and you don't try and claim a reversal burden of proof fallacy and say, yeah, I won. You know, that there should be rules. There should be decorum, yes.
You're agreeing to be on the show that debates. And my point is that if you come with like tactically chosen video clips that you're just going to play in the middle of people or play to avoid, I mean, I'm just saying, in my opinion, that's very poor form. But I probably wouldn't have said that again. I probably shouldn't have said he should be banned. I think my point kind of was like that this behavior is pretty unacceptable in intellectual forum, and I will no longer be interacting with it. That's more so what I meant.
Yeah, that's totally your right to decide who you'd like to debate or not. But Daryl, I'll give you a chance to respond if you want to. If you feel like anything was in poor taste, you can go ahead and respond to that. But
okay.
All right, no worries. G Gun says, not one university in the world that teaches Whitsitt's dogma. I'm not sure if we got too much we can engage with there, G Guns. Yeah, we got to scratch the face. I don't think we're going to have too much of that. Adders now says, all right, we're getting into the personal drama. Oh no, he blocked me because he lied about radar on X.
Dude, actually, you got completely scolded. I blocked you because every single post or reply I ever did on X, you stalked it and spammed replies and messages everywhere that I would go. It's just incredibly annoying. And then you would lie about me in these replies to basically bait me into interacting with you. So it's like, it's much better for me to just not see you, because then I do end up getting baited into interacting with you. And you're just kind of attention seeking, trying to get some clicks and stuff. I think it's just lame. That's why I blocked you. It's nothing to do with radar. This is why do you guys twist everything so dishonest? It's so weird. You have a made up version of every single thing. But whatever.
Let's carry on. Matters now says, I have never called you a liar, Ryan. Smoke less. Oh my, smoke less. That sounds like a bit of gaslighting coming in over there. No, I'm just joking along. But screaming at the top of your lungs that somebody is spreading a false narrative, I think, is accusing them of lying. So check yourself before you wreck yourself, there, buddy. Hercules says, Whitsitt, explain how Airy proved the stationary Earth.
Yeah, so basically took a telescope, we filled it with water based on the assumption that the Earth is actually spinning and orbiting, and you would actually have a deflection of the starlight, so the light coming from a star is...
That's not what they were testing. They were testing if the Earth moved through a medium.
Into the telescope, it would be going from the medium of air into water, and since the light propagates at a different speed in water, of course, it would actually deflect if the Earth was moving. You can measure exactly how much it would deflect off its straight path because it slows down the water, and it would hit the side of the telescope effectively at a specific angle, and it didn't do that. In fact, it even was seen to go the opposite way. No one has ever actually addressed Airy's failure whatsoever. They just claim that it just disproved the ether. It literally, that is not a rebuttal at all to the test. Most of them couldn't even tell you what happened in the test. So yeah, basically, that's irrefutable. Like, the Earth is not moving, Airy's failure, and then MMX really put it into the heliocentric model. That's why it's just suppressed, buried, and completely ignored.
All right, let's carry on. G Gun says, Whitsitt and Ray Mullins, two...
They just completely lied.
Most convincing flirts. That's not a word I usually use on the show. Is that an okay term? I'm not sure.
Flat earther.
I embrace it to an extent.
Flat earther, flurf.
Okay.
It's not tard.
So yeah, any thoughts on Brian Mullins? I'm not sure who this is. Once again, Kango44 says, the point with the questions Whitsitt is to see if you're just full of it. There is no reason to listen to you. You have no education and no credibility. Why would anyone listen to you?
Yeah, you were literally present at every single one of my debates, spending money on a minimum of 10 super chats. So the question is, why would you consistently listen to me in such an obsessive manner that you feel compelled to have to compulsively send messages to me every time I'm on the channel? So that's kind of embarrassing that you don't really see how ridiculous what you're saying is.
Oh,
I'm autodidactic. Some of the smartest people in the world. I mean,
you're such a victim.
I don't even claim to be the smartest people or nothing like that. I'm just saying, like, that's a stupid argument. Like, Nikola Tesla.
No, you do claim to be smarter than everyone because you say everyone else is wrong and you're right. That's you claiming to be smarter than everyone.
Drop out of college, bro. Like, I'm not claiming to be Nikola Tesla by any stretch. That's not my point. My point is, don't just talk down and dismiss people as if you're so much better than based on their education. That's ignorant. Literally, the vast majority of millionaires, the vast majority of them did not finish college.
Right. We are
put that one together.
Okay. So, what is your point, man? If you're stupid, you're stupid. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor.
For me, buddy.
We are so.
If you claim that if it's been proven that you're ignorant as fuck, and you claim to be smarter than everyone else, you're a fucking liar.
Close there, Austin. And once again, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm doing it for your benefit. We are on the last couple super chats, so if you really got something pressing, you need to get in there. We really did blast through a lot of these questions. So let's try to get something over here for Daryl. G Guns says, Daryl, no telescope can show the lunar rover. Why?
I guess you have to show evidence of that. I'm not sure if that's the case.
Any thoughts on the other side? With that quick wrap up.
No.
All right. G-Gun says, Witsit and Brian Mullins versus MC Toon FTFE. Super debate. All right. So whoever Brian Mullins is,
No.
I guess there's somebody who heavily aligns with your views. Gee, you didn't even give us a topic there, G-Guns. Just anything goes, I guess. You guys just debate it, and people hate it.
I gave those guys multiple chances of just maintaining basic morality, and they did not do so. I do not debate them at principle. They claim I'm scared to debate them, but it doesn't matter.
Without getting into our inner dynamics of the show, we got drama, Witsit. We got drama all over.
Everyone just went. This is why I shouldn't engage.
No worries. Sacred says, Witsit cooked him. End it by having him
Listen to what to try to gain the moral upper hand,
Steelman.
the intellectual upper hand.
Ooh, Sacred, coming in with last chat. Let's do that. Let's have some fun. We'll do some Steelmans, and then we will do our closing statements. So, since we had fewer questions for you, Daryl, Steelman, Witsit's argument for us tonight, if you can.
You didn't present anything on this side. I tried to get him to present some kind of equation or model. He couldn't. All he did was say, "This is your model," and now defend what I'm telling you your model is, which is why I brought up the math to show you don't even understand the basic math. You don't even understand where the equations come from. You're talking about thematic equations, so why would I believe you know about relativity? So he didn't present anything except for me to Steelman.
All right, Austin, same question. So if you can, Steelman, Daryl's argument that he
Dude,
presented.
the fact he could have Steelman my argument is, well, it's pretty obvious. Here are Daryl's arguments, Steelman. Gravity disproves, I'm going to say better than him. Gravity disproves geocentrism because of the mass of the sun in relation to the mass of the earth. Since the mass of the sun is so much greater than based on the gravitational equation proposed by Newton, which is the fourth proportion of mass, or mass attracts mass in layman terms, that the earth will automatically revolve around the sun because the sun has such a greater mass. And then,
I know this is 2x speed, but he sounds like a fucking chipmunk. He's already at 2x speed naturally.
of course, he actually completely neglected the fact that I refuted that directly by pointing out that Mach came along with Mach's principle and pointing out that Newton only thought that the sun was the center of the entire universe and then didn't account for all the extra mass that would actually then result in the dynamic equivalence of the earth being in the center. He avoided that at all costs. And then he also said, well, here's some clips of you. Look, we can't trust you, so everything else you say I can ignore. And that was about it.
All right. Well, that was a very fun way to kind of get to the end here before we do our closing statements. Run Boston Bear. I will say to all of our super chatters and the last super chatter.
All right. We're done. Done with that. So thanks for coming to my birthday party, guys. If you want to, drop some money on PayPal for me. Make me feel happy. And yeah, so we'll be back tomorrow with a little more Flatzoid. Maybe a shorter stream tomorrow. I've been on for 3.5 hours.